Okay guys, so let's go ahead and our lab for site-to-site VPN demo. So there, you could quietly follow as well, but it's better to understand the lab than follow, because follow and understanding for more complicated labs or where there are very few million steps only, those labs where we have a huge amount of steps or just a few, as I said, million steps. So there, we have to be we need to understand, or wherever I say, hey, that's a demo, so in that case, it's better to just follow it and try to understand, and your questions are welcome. But hopefully we are able to do the lab today as well, because we need to pull off this stunt. Oh no, it's not a stunt, it's a lab. Yeah. So I'll just put that picture where so yeah, that's where I can just, because well, the other diagram had one thing missing, so that's here. And as you know that I do everything live, so even correcting the labs again. Okay, so we don't need this one then. All right. So okay, let's talk about what we need to discuss. So first of all, it's VPN. So I hope everyone has. So I hope everyone, well, majority of us may have used VPN before. So anyone can tell me what is VPN used for? Yay! So that's the first question. What is VPN used for?
VPN is a virtual connection, connect remote office to main office remotely, and it's secure because it's tunnel the data that send the bucket. It will be tunneling and encrypted. It's provide many protocol like IPsec, PPTP, point-to-point tunnel protocol, or LTP layer 2 tunnel protocol to encrypt the data.
All right, way to go. So definitely, as Madhava said, so VPN is virtual private network, and we can connect to our AWS. Well, VPN is basically used for connecting securely from either outside of office to inside over the wild west of internet, right? So it's a jungle out there on internet, and you have to securely connect from your either another branch to this branch, or from your corporate network or at home to your office environment securely. So VPN is the thing that you should use. VPN is the connection that you use. Now, anyone has used Cisco VPN, or what kind of VPNs have been, anyone, if you have experience in your production environment? So what vendors VPN have you been using? Anyone?
For my point of view, I use Cisco, Fortinet, SonicWall, and Checkpoint.
Oh man, you've used 4 VPNs? Nice.
Yeah, we have a different multiple site with the different requirements.
Okay, managed company. That's very good.
Yep.
So, all right. And Mohammed Jafri says Cisco AnyConnect. And
for me, I use OpenVPN.
Oh, okay. You've used OpenVPN.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And that's really good, guys. So let's go ahead and try to check out that how are we planning to connect with AWS. And earlier we start the lab, the better. So AWS VPN is comprised of 2 services, site-to-site VPN and client-to-site VPN. So AWS Client VPN. We're going to be downloading the client side as well, but it's mainly obviously for the site-to-site VPN. There's a customer environment. We pretend that we have customer environment. In fact, that environment will also still be inside AWS. I'm not going to launch that from, I don't have a, that kind of router to configure and on at my home or office. So we're going to pretend that we're having customer, but obviously we're going to still have a actual VPN connection. So if we go further, AWS Satisfied VPN enables you to securely connect your on-premises network or branch office site to your.
I got a question. Like, why do we need VPN? Like, AWS VPN, like just to make it more secure? Because I think it's already secure, right? Like to use AWS
It's not
console.
already secure without VPN, because what are the other ways to connect? Suppose this is the office, Toronto office, and there you have many ways to connect, right? So we can connect from, if you have a public IP, then we can also connect from our home with RDP, right? So is that secure? Normally there is another server called RDS by Microsoft, Remote Desktop Services, and through that, yes, companies have also been connecting, but it also offers certificate security, and hopefully there's IPsec there as well. But just a simple RDP, which is 3389 port, so that's not secure, right? So the main thing would be that how can you securely connect to a VPN server here? And if you have a VPN server here, so it's going to use either you will be using SSTP, which requires certificate secure socket tunneling protocol, or you will be using, as Mohammad also said, L2TP and IPsec, right? So IPsec is one of the best securities for data in transit, right? And then there is ICAV as well.
TP.
PPTP is also there, but Chintan, it's
not in widely used. Yeah, I know. Just on this.
yeah, but there is that PPTP as well, exactly. Point-to-point tunneling protocol, secure socket tunneling protocol, layer 2 tunneling protocol, and IPsec, and then ICAV for portability as well. The thing is that you would be going for either SSTP or L2TP/IPsec, or ICAV also uses security certificate there that encrypts your data. So about IPsec being a big deal here is that it really tries to secure our data in transit, and it tries to go for hacker attacks, anti-hacker attacks techniques are there built into this. So I'm just gonna try to just show you what IPsec really can do, and that's one of the best features that VPN can offer that RDP alone cannot offer that. So if I go for my, normally I collect all the information and some theories on my board here, IT board. So here, I'll just go for search, and then I'll type IPsec. So there are just a few things that we just need to know about IPsec, that normally whenever the VPN is discussed, and then we're trying to use L2TP/tunneling, L2TP/IPsec. So Internet Protocol IPsec is a protocol suite for securing Internet Protocol IP communications by authenticating and encrypting each IP packet of a communication session. The main thing that we want to talk about is here, just to start the lab earlier. For that, I'm just trying to fly by. So Internet Protocol IPsec uses cryptographic security services to protect communications over IP networks. IPsec supports network level peer authentication. That's the first thing it does. Then data origin authentication. So data is coming from the correct origin or source or not. Data integrity. While data is being received, it is in one piece. Data confidentiality. So is it encrypted or not? And then replay protection. So lots of security replay protection is that you're connected, and all of a sudden, suppose you got disconnected for a second and then you got reconnected again. But it could be that the now hacker has actually hacker is impersonating your connection, and the source has changed. In fact, hacker caused that disconnection, and all of a sudden you got connected, and you're thinking now you're still connected to the same correct origin or source where you were connected before the disconnectivity, right? So replay protection, hackers can also impersonate, hey, I'm the same source, while it's not. So IPsec tries to protect from several types of known attacks and several types of authentications and authorizations there, and that is attached to then layer 2 tunneling protocol So the data is encrypted, the origin is confirmed, data integrity is confirmed, authentication is confirmed, and replay protection or any kind of hacker attempts are confirmed or protected. You're protected from. So that's where it's a big deal to actually use VPN instead of any other type of connectivity to the office. So that would be VPN client here that you would put, and pretty much every company follows the standard protocols there that we just I wrote there as well, and this would be the VPN server. And in the chat, Ade has put DM VPN as well. So if you could, abbreviate that as well. So other than that, it's L2TP and other. So there's that. So normally, why we use VPN? Why it's a big deal? Well, that's one of the most secure methods to connect from branch to branch or from client to branch, right? So that's why it's going to be secure if you're connecting from over the internet, where hackers are just waiting for you to make a move and their software are just ready to grab your session and then hijack your session and start copying your data. So VPN just tries to protect from all that kind of attacks, right? Okay guys, so here, and there any questions, welcome here. Any question regarding the topic? Okay. So, what is the good pizza in our area? So that would not be considered a question, although it's a very interesting question. Okay. Anyway, so let's go ahead, and there's that you can have, so AWS site-to-site VPN limits. So you can have up to 5 customer gateways per AWS account per AWS region. Okay, and then virtual gateways. So it's talking about something that we're about to discuss. So that is something that I'll be showing during the diagram. I'll be putting that diagram, and then we'll be discussing that. So here we can create customer gateway, but customer gateway is that you create on the office side. Normally the purpose of that is customer side of information you need to give to the office side of AWS. What is the public IP of the customer, and then there's a virtual gateway there, and virtual gateway is the AWS's or office side. Suppose there's an office VPN, so office side of information you need, then it is virtual gateway is used. So other than that, we're going to be talking in detail because I'm going to explain the diagram to you now. So you can have up to 50 site-to-site VPN connections per AWS account per region. So in one region, you can have actually 50 site-to-site. We're going to just create one VPN connection from West region to the East region. So US East one from US West one, right? So other than that, you can have up to 50 site-to-site VPN connections per virtual gateway. So if you're creating a virtual gateway, which is normally known as the AWS site of connection information. So, and you can advertise up to 100 routes per virtual gateway. So suppose your office or AWS side of connection VPN is connected to multiple branches there. So you want to define a lot of routes there. So those 100 routes are allowed for virtual gateway. We're going to configure that, and we're going to discuss that in detail as well. To learn more, please view that VPN limits, and that would be a very, very good idea, because they update their page from time to time. So I'm just gonna put that information here. Actually, okay. Oh, I haven't created. So this was supposed to be the last class, which did not happen. So now we're again on Wednesday, but this time it's 19 August. Okay. So I'll just put it here. Oh, sorry. What was I copying? Yeah, it's link. Because I need to copy this as well. Okay. So what we were talking about is this page and VPCs per region. So that's actually for virtual private cloud, and it actually doesn't show. Oh, seriously, it's VPC limits, not the VPN gateway limits. But there are gateways here also shown down here. That's why this information: NAT gateway, internet gateway, customer gateway, and virtual private gateway. So okay, so this page will then show you all the limits that you should know for the exam. Hopefully you're preparing for the exam. and also that one of us actually passed the exam and she's not here today. Okay, anyway, so AWS exam, one student passed, so that's congrats, and hopefully others are still trying, and hopefully you have seen the resource that I've created there, and I'm continuously updating that with latest questions as well later. So just try to go there, guys. It is mucho importante to know that I'll just quickly show that and then let's start. So here, if you can search for AWS, Azure, GCP exam prep resource, sample questions, exam information. So on your LMS, you can just go to this AWS, Azure, GCP exam prep resource. It is, you can just really connect there. And then here you can just see the information for, so there's a exam readiness site, ID exam vouchers. This is a site where you can just get free vouchers. It's for limited time. Normally they offer the vouchers at sometimes half price or 75% or 25% discount. Then you see AWS Solutions Architect Associate exam prep topics regularly updated. So guys, these topics are for the new exam SAACO2. Make sure that you have read those white papers there. The PDFs are uploaded there, and make sure that all these topics you have gone through. There are details and fact pages, frequently asked question pages have been added there. So if you've gone through all that, then resolving all the questions would be much easier, and better, you will be better prepared for the actual job interviews. The main idea is that, are you ready for the job interviews, and can you actually implement that in the job, right? Just not for passing exam, but do you understand the technology, right? I'll be adding here a lot of questions as well. Then I will update you regularly on that. Okay guys, so I'm just gonna go back to what we were talking about here, limits, and then there's that VPN features. Sample required permission to access. Oh, okay. So Chintan has copied that. Oh, so this is how it looks like there. Okay. I'll be.
So it is asking for enroll course to unlock.
Okay. I'll add you all to that. It's supposed to be free course. Oh, that's why. Okay. So I'll just be adding that, and after in the break, I'll just add that as a free course, and you can just all connect it. Alright guys, so please remind me that as well. Now let's go down. We've talked about briefly about the features of VPN, and then there's our lab. So the main purpose of VPN is that we need to connect from, suppose we have a Toronto branch here, and we are connecting from that branch there to the AWS VPN, right? So AWS side of configurations that we need to do, we're going to be discussing that, and what's going on here. First of all, I'll just put that drawing, it's in good shape, to this page as well, and I'll put that here on the group, WhatsApp group, right? So let's discuss that, what we are intending to achieve here. So the first thing is that we will be considering our North Virginia region as our office machines are there, right? And so we're going to create a VPC here, a virtual private console, seriously. So we're going to create a VPC here, VPC A, and then we're going to go for private subnet 1, VPC 1 private subnet. We've created that before as well, right? So then we're going to deploy an EC2 Office virtual machine, and this is the target for our clients on the other side, which I will explain as well. So this is where they need to connect, right? And through the VPN connection, they should be able to connect here. Normally, if from here in the end, if we are able to ping this private IP, this is going to be a private machine. This means that without having connection to this VPC over the internet, you cannot access this machine. So either you have VPC peering enabled between them, which we will not do, no peering. So, or you have a VPN connection from this VPC or any customer branch to this VPC A office branch here. which is on the AWS. So either you have peering here, or so peering is one way. Oh wow, that was a very bad way to write it. So either you have peering, which we already kind of tested, or you have a VPN connection because you need to connect from a private IP based machine to a private IP based machine, right? That is only possible through VPN, or if you are another way connected through two VPCs are connected through peering. So we're going to go for obviously the VPN connection. So that's why we're going to keep our target as only private IP and behind a VPN gateway. So on AWS we're going to be configuring a VPN gateway here, and obviously with that you have to configure customer gateway as well as the virtual private gateway, which I will explain as well. So the objective here is that this machine, which is having a public IP in North California, so we're going to go to the North California region and we're going to create another instance. So this means, first of all, we are really far away. Second thing, it's a separate region, it's not the same region, right? So our connectivity has to be, it cannot even be peering now, it has to be now VPN. Through VPN we can only connect. So we're going to create our machine in North California, which is US West 1, and there we need this machine inside. Obviously we're going to create a VPC here and public subnet here. But the question is, why this machine should be public, having a public IP? Why can't we have this machine, which is our customer side of machine? This is where we have our client VPN connection, right? So client VPN is there, and VPN gateway or VPN server we can refer to as, although it's just a VPN gateway, VPN server side is here. So this is the company corporate environment, and this is it could be your on-premises environment, because it's a router that we're going to configure. So we're pretending that this is just the on-premises client environment. So actually we will be having that configured in North California, which is US West, and on another region. So we're going to give this machine a public IP, and a private IP will be given anyway, but public IP will be given as well. Why? Because when you connect from home as well, so normally what happens, suppose this is your home, so you must first have an internet connection, DSL internet connection here, right? Internet connection, and from here once you have internet connection, so you enable the VPN client, you double click the VPN client, and in the VPN client you have some kind of public IP of your Office VPN server, right? So you get that public you have that client has to be fed the public IP to be given the public IP of your Office environment. So when you double click the client, and you obviously must have a certificate, security certificate also, maybe you can purchase from DigiCert or from GoDaddy.com or some other certificate, VeriSign, right? So security certificate should be there as well when you are actually connecting from home environment. We're gonna connect from we're gonna make sure that we're connecting from our Linux router. We're able to connect through enable the initiate the VPN connection, and we will be trying to make sure that we are able to ping if the VPN connection is there from our Linux router, which is living in West US, North California VPC. From there is no other way to connect to this machine because this is private, but we're going to create a VPN connection. This is where the trick comes. This is quite tricky. How to install the OpenSwan Linux router, and then how to configure from OpenSwan to the VPN connection to this VPN server, VPN gateway in AWS. So again, we're going to be creating, in fact, let me just explain that now with some kind of animation. That's more fun now. So first of all, we're going to create, so this is our whole lab that we're going to do, right? This one. Oh no, not this one. So first we're going to create we're going to go to North Virginia region. We're going to go for creating a VPC A office VPC, and we're going to create a private subnet there. We will make sure nobody can connect to that other than from the VPN connection. Nobody can enter this subnet and the virtual machine, the EC2 instance that we're going to create inside the private subnet. And we're going to allow with this machine, we're going to allow all TCP communication from only VPC B customer IP range. Only that company, suppose it was a Toronto office, Toronto branch, so you would have added the public IP of that branch, and only from that branch you can connect to this machine, nowhere else. So we're going to add the IP range of the other VPC. From only there we can connect, but there is no way to connect unless you create a peering or you create a VPN. So we're going to go for VPN. So allow ping from VPC B customer. So we're going to still put an IP range here for the customer environment, and if VPN connection is established, we will be able to ping. If the VPN connection is not established, we won't be able to ping, right? So
sorry, some questions. You're saying the customer is the other branch or the client?
So customer would be, we're pretending that it is a branch, but since I cannot have it at my home configured a router and the public IP especially, so that's why we will be creating all that environment in another region, and we're pretending that that other region, the West US, is that customer branch. The main thing would be that can we connect through VPN from any other private environment to this private environment? So either it could be another branch on premises, or it can be inside AWS as well, because VPN will work the same way, either in a branch with public connectivity or from a West US region as well.
Thank you.
Amir, can we say that like VPC A to VPC B is gateway to gateway VPN, and VPC B to client, it is a server, client and gateway?
So yes, normally it is gateway to gateway. Yes. So
Yeah,
because
and
we're
client to
pretending that,
VPCB. Client to VPCB is a gateway, client and gateway, right? Not a server, because server is in A right now.
yeah. So server is A, but it's not client to server. It is just to the VPN gateway, and obviously after that you will be able to go inside that virtual machine, which is behind a gateway. So it's yes, gateway of one client to the gateway of. Hence it is site to site, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
for that it has to be two sites or two branches or two gateways. It has to be routed
Yeah.
on both sides. So one side is router, where router will know that, oh, from my side. So yeah, what I was explaining here was that we're going to deploy that first the region. In the region we're going to go for VPC A, then we're going to create a private subnet, and then an EC2 instance inside where store that security group. We will allow the traffic, specific traffic only from that other region, nowhere else. But this machine, the only thing with that machine is that it is having a private IP, so there is no way other than either, as I said, peering or VPN connection. So we're going to go for VPN connection. There's no other way to connect to this machine. So on the other region, then I'm going to go for West US, and in West US, we're going to, oops, yeah, we're going to create VPC B. That will be considered a customer VPC, and then we're going to create a public subnet inside that, because if it's private, how can we initiate even a VPN client connection, or the from the other branch, how can it request a VPN if it's not already having access to the public internet, right? So this has to be a public subnet, and we're going to configure that auto-assign IPv4 in that particular subnet, in that particular VPC in the region North California, West US, which we have never used in our lab before, in our AWS course before. So then we're going to create an EC2 instance here as well. Now this EC2 instance is a Linux instance that will be considered as a router. So you have to configure on the customer side a router. Maybe you have 200 machines in the background behind that router, right? Maybe 200, 2000, 200,000 machines there. But this router has to make that initial communication through the VPN gateway on the office side. So I named it office, right? So if that router can make a communication, all the machines behind through the router can make that communication as well. So the two sites can be connected, then the site in West US will be able to connect to the site in East US, right? So this router is our main target, and this is we're going to install a router software called OpenSwan, and AWS fully supports that. I'm going to show you then how to configure all the files, edit all the files. It's going to get tricky, and just one copy paste mistake, just a one slight, one byte only, one word you miss, and it's like scratching head and then trying to troubleshoot from the start to the end. Remember I did not last class we canceled because everything was perfect, it was not working, and I had to go back and check out, and then I realized that seriously. So there was just a copy paste mistake, but then obviously how would I know that unless I have gone through? So it took me 3 hours to just check, because it's a lot of configuration to do. But once you see all the configuration, your confidence will be really up, and I would recommend that do this lab at least 2 times, so you should be feeling very confident to talk about VPN connectivity, site-to-site VPN in an interview as well. Okay, so we're going to now we're on the customer side here. This is the router that needs to make the initial connection, VPN connection, and through this router we're going to do a ping to the virtual machine that is behind that VPN connection of AWS. So but that router, since it is a public IP and we're creating our own VPC in AWS, normally what happens is you have to deploy an internet gateway, and you have to tell that internet gateway that the traffic will be coming from this public subnet where this EC2 instance lives. So gateway will be connected to this subnet, and in this subnet is this EC2 instance, right? So if this EC2 instance wants to go outside and send out the traffic of VPN or request the VPN, so it has to go through this routing table and through this internet gateway, and the request will go to the other side of VPN gateway. So we're going to create that. Then once this basic infrastructure is created, then we're going to come back to our office side, where first of all we have to tell the office side of the AWS, hey AWS office side, your side of connection has to be defined. So this is the office side, their side of connectivity of VPN has to be defined in the form of virtual private gateway. So create VPG in North Virginia for AWS side of connectivity. So some information, some IP information, connectivity information, how the connection will be made to AWS has to be defined first here. Then we're going to create a customer gateway, and there we're going to still tell the office side, hey, what is the client side configuration from where we're expecting VPN traffic. So basically in customer gateway you need to give the public IP of your client side or the other branch. So customer gateway, hence the name customer gateway. That virtual private gateway, this is the office side of information of VPN connectivity. Customer gateway is the client side of information for VPN connectivity, right? Once both sides of information is known here with the help of two gateways here, then we're going to go for the actual VPN connectivity. Now create site-to-site VPN using info of VPG, which is virtual private gateway, the AWS side of connectivity information, and the CG, which is customer gateway, client side of connectivity information. So VPN will ask, okay, what is the VPG? What is the customer gateway? Oh, okay, I got all the information. So you, VPC A, you want to connect, you want to let the VPC B side of people through VPN, you want to let them connect to VPC A office side. So VPN will be told about all that. So once the connectivity on the office side is ready, that office, this side of, is saying, AWS is saying, hey, client side, we are ready. If whenever you're ready, just, request from us the VPN connection, because our side is ready to receive VPN connections now. We have done all the configuration here with these three gateways. So on the client side, we have created the basic environment. We have installed the Linux machine. We need to now install first the OpenSwan software or package inside Linux. Then we need to configure. So this is the Linux machine that we're going to connect to, and here, oh, it's not showing, right? Seriously, see this? Okay, I'll just make it. Okay, so I'll just Control S and oh, seriously? Wow, I wish I could do this that fast. So here we're gonna go for on Linux router. On customer side, deploy router package, OpenSwan, initiate VPN connection from customer side. So we need to configure a router inside this machine. We need to tell this that, hey, you're part of the customer side, and you are required to connect through VPN to the office side here, and there will be a VPN file that we will be downloading from the VPN connection. That file will give information to OpenSwan. Hey, OpenSwan, yes, our public IP is this, our virtual private gateway IP is this, our customer gateway information is this. So all that information that we will get from a downloaded file, we will feed it to this Linux router, and the router will say, okay, thank you VPN for giving me all the information, and if we have edited all the files correctly, then we at the end there's a command that starts the VPN connection from this within the router to the VPN gateway, and then once that, if it is connected, then we will be pinging that IP. From here we will ping the IP that has been given to this EC2 office private IP. If everything goes well, then you will be seeing this. If all works well, then you should be able to ping from customer router VM to VM in office and in VPN dashboard. Okay, so that's not VPN, it's VPN. So instead of VON, so it will be VPN dashboard, and dashboard tunnel must be up. So in the VPN connectivity, there are normally 2 tunnels required, but we're going to configure just 1 tunnel. If we are able to configure that, and that requires some patience as well, that you would see that tunnel 1 is actually status is up. If that status is up, you will be able to ping from the customer side to the office side here, right? So that would be the main thing that we need to achieve. If the tunnel is up, we're good, and that's not easy at all. So one of us or 2 or 3 of us may have done this configuration their way as well, and you can see how tricky it gets. But the main thing is, if everything is good, this Linux machine, we should be able to ping the IP of this machine, and there should be some proof there that are we connected through VPN or not. Okay guys, so this is what we're going to do. So if there are any questions, let me know, and otherwise we will start now, right? And you can ask questions while we're doing that as well, and I'm going to explain that what is going on now with on what phase we are now, right? So hopefully we understand that, and it's not that easy, but obviously if you know complicated configurations, then your value in the market is only then when you know and are able to actually configure all that step by step. If you know just the easy stuff, everyone else knows the easy stuff as well, right? So that's why I would want you to really understand that, and those who are actually still trying to do this stunt, well, be patient if you're if you're stuck somewhere, because we won't be able to finish the lab today if I have to also troubleshoot others configurations. But when the video is ready, you should do that at least minimum 2 times, right? Okay, so let's try to do that now, and let's start with our environment. So I'm just going to go back to this diagram here, and we need to configure our IPs. See this, there's 100 here and there's 200 here, right? And we need to name them as well. Now I have those screenshots of this activity. That's just a few thousand pictures there. Actually, I'm just exaggerating. It's maybe it's near 100 pictures, but this is all the screenshots I have uploaded there in a MS Word document in LMS there, and you can download that document as well. But obviously I am explaining while doing this diagram, so that document might also help you. I myself also will be looking at this because I don't want to miss any step here. I don't do that every day, right? So this way, if we have the documentation in front of us, we can actually go ahead and configure all this. And reason for, if the VPN is configured correctly, then you can play with all other types of scenarios, because every lab has many scenarios. How about this? How about we do it this way? How about we do it? If you can do it first exactly like it is said here, and if it works, then yes, go ahead and play with other scenarios as well, right? So that's the main idea behind that. I know you guys are really smart, and the main thing is all questions are welcome, and let's start that lab. So what I'm gonna do is just to avoid any confusion, and that's the main thing that we need to do, that we should not be confused. So I'll just put this one browser here. So even in the browser, we don't need to be confused there. So first of all, I'll just log into AWS, and I'll just go for that MFA. Let me just quickly log in. I think I've been using this account for too many times. 454-315. Oh. Okay. So I'm logged in. Now guys, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create this one tab here for just North Virginia, and I'll be duplicating this tab again. So first of all, first tab will be in North Virginia. It will show just the VPC configuration. Second tab will also be in North Virginia, and it will show the EC2 configurations, right? Or you know, the storage group, security group configurations there. But after that, I'm gonna create an empty browser here. Then I'm going to create duplicate one more tab, and I'm going to drag it on the other side of the empty browser here, right? And yet another tab here, and I'm going to put it here. So why is that? So this is the North Virginia side, the office side, and the right side will be the client side or the other branch, or the North California side. Now, seriously, you're shooting this. Yeah, this is going to really bug me a lot, this drop down, and I don't know how to get rid of this actually. Okay, anyway, so I'll just click this, and I'll just create another empty tab here, empty browser tab. So this would be just Google.
So in this case, we are going to have 3 EC2, right?
We will have 2 EC2. Why 3? So if I go,
The one is as per diagram, one is the EC2 office, then we are going to have OpenSwan, then the client, no?
So this is it. The OpenSwan would be the other one. This is the router, and from within the router, we're going to make a ping. So if we can reach here, we'll be lucky. I mean, like we will. But after that, if the router can ping, yes, in the background, then go ahead and put as many machines there that whose gateway should be the IP of this router, the private IP of this router. If that router can make a connection, yes. So this is our objective today. Yeah.
So basically, we are going to use the router to install the Swan, and then we are going to test it from there.
Yes.
Technically.
Yeah. So this will be just one customer side machine, which will be the router as well. And from there, we can initiate the connection from this machine. If this machine can initiate a connection successful and can ping, any other machine behind it can do the same thing as well.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, guys, so here, what we are doing now, so I'm just going to follow this lab. I have created a lot of, nice things here. So I'm just control Zing out of that. Oh, that's it. Okay. It does not go more than that. So yes, so I'll be creating first this side, and then I'll be creating this side here, right? And then we will make those gateways one by one, right? So let's go for, so I'm going to go back to the browser here just to avoid some confusion. This and this tab are both empty tabs, and I'm just having here the customer side. So on the customer side, I'm just going to switch this to US West North California. US West 1, our customer will be there. US East 1 is this side, which is our office side will be there. So the VPN gateway will be living there. So I'm going to switch to North California. We have to be very careful about the switching the regions as well. You have to make sure that you got rid of everything in this region and you got rid of everything in this region. Suppose you created here 20 machines in North California. Obviously, from the North Virginia side, you won't be able to see even a single machine that you created in North California. You have to go to North California and delete all the sources manually there, and then you come back here in North Virginia and delete all the sources from here as well, right? So I'm just going to, this is the office site. I'm just going to go to that site now, and this is North Virginia here, and this is North California, the west side here. Actually, you know, where's east? On the right side? Okay, so here, first I'm just going to go to services, and I'm going to go down to, sorry, one North Virginia and other one California. Oh, okay. So Ali, yeah. So exactly, it is one North Virginia, one California, US West 1. And if you are still doing that stunt with me, then you might be stuck in any place. Then the only thing is, at your own risk, I won't be able to troubleshoot your side, right? So I can only quickly give you some information, or anyone who's following, right? So right now, just don't follow and watch, right? So, well, that's what I was saying, Chintan, on the previous class and today in the chat as well, that it's better to watch. If you want to follow, then yeah, at your own risk, and I won't be able to troubleshoot your side, right?
Yeah, no, what my question is that Linux machine, you have already ready that machine or just you are doing
Oh,
from
so I will
scratch?
be deploying the Linux machine on North Carolina side, and I will be deploying just like EC2 instances we've deployed for Windows before. So I'll be deploying
Okay.
here and their
So,
Linux machines as
so
well.
it is from scratch, right?
It's from scratch, exactly.
Okay, so I'll try, like, let's see.
Okay, so
Stuck then fine.
good luck, guys. Those who are trying, just that if you're really stuck, I'm sorry, I need to finish the lab today, so I won't.
Yeah, don't worry. I'm not asking question. Don't worry. If I stuck, then fine.
But any simple one, yeah, sure, no problem. So that could take less time. Okay. Alright, guys, so let us go ahead. I'm just going to go to the first tab here. The first tab, I'm keeping it on VPC Dashboard. So I'm going to go down to VPC in North Virginia, and the other dashboard, other tab, I'm just sticking to EC2 Dashboard. So just to be organized, first one is in VPC Dashboard, second one is on EC2 Dashboard, right? We're going to create a network, then we're going to create virtual machine, right? So EC2 instance. So here also the last one is on VPC. So just to have that consistent configuration and we're not confused. So that one is VPC, and the second last is actually EC2. So we're going to be creating network and EC2 instances there in North California, other region as well. So I'm going to go to the customer office side, seriously, office side, right? If we have issue, can we continue after 10? After 10, so you don't want me to, you know, have a rest or something. So okay, well, after 10, if it's not a long one, sure. If it's a long troubleshooting, then I will say wait for the video and follow up at that time. So depends. If it's a small one, sure. So okay, guys, I'm just gonna go for VPC console here, and let me just go down to your VPC. If there's a bit of speed there, then only we will be able to finish today. Even I would be able to finish. Otherwise, even I would be. And today is the last one, right? Last day. So then Friday we're starting Azure. So your VPC here. So that's the console, and then your VPC. And I'm just gonna go for creating a customer side VPC, and just to be in the know. So here it's North Virginia. We're creating a VPC A, and we need to give the office, and we need to give the IP range. And while we're creating that, right after this, we're going to create a private subnet, and its range will be that. So remember one thing, the office side is 100 and customer side is 200, right? So I'll just go back here, and try to create that VPC. So it's VPC -A-office, right? So as clear as possible, and then 10.100.0.0/16, and this is the default tenancy, right? And so that's how we just create a VPC. Let's click the create button here. Create, and it's created. So that's the VPC created here. And what we're trying our best to do, just to for the VPN environment, we need to make sure that it's a private subnet, and the EC2 that will be deployed, a Linux EC2, will be also private subnet. It will be also having a private IP, no public IP here, right? So this will be the perfect environment for deploying a VPN. So the VPC A is created. It is the office side, and then I'm going to go to the subnets here, right? I'm going to go to the subnets, and from the subnets, already the default subnets are created there. I don't care about those because they are for my default VPC in which I'm working right now. I'm going to create a separate subnet for my VPC. So click create subnet here, and if I go to the name private subnet, okay, so it's private subnet -A -office. We can just give some kind of name there. So private subnet -A -office, right? And which VPC? Obviously the one that we created, VPC A office. And availability zone, it's up to you. If you don't configure anything, it will configure it for you just for organization purpose. I'm going to go for 1A. You can go for any one if you want, or let it decide that. So and obviously then it has to be 10.100.0.0/24. We can just keep that subnet there as well. You can make it 100.1.0, 100.2.0, whatever, or this subnet, it doesn't matter. So once that has been given, I'm just gonna go ahead and click create that as well. Sub and net. You know, one student who was doing that in previous course, he was well, I can say genius. So whatever configuration I was done, he would take a picture of that. So then he would slowly, quietly just follow my demo, and he had pictures of all the configurations. Then whenever he reached that configuration, he would just see that again, and that's it. So with cell phone, one was recording, and he was following the cell phone. So that was some quick ways. But anyway, so the subnet is created, and if I go back here, so private subnet 10.100.0.0 and this subnet. Now I also have this screenshots that I would want to follow because it was a lot of effort. I created those and had to troubleshoot a lot and then delete some screenshots and then create some more because we needed to have a working solution, right? So private subnet is created there. Now we're going to go for the EC2 instance creation here. So in private subnet, what is the main purpose? What is the main proof that it is a private subnet? So if I go to this subnet here and click that subnet and then go to actions, and then there's a modify auto-assign IP settings. Now this setting for a subnet, if you enable that setting, it will start giving you public IP addresses to all the machines inside the subnet. If this is unchecked, then there will be no public IP given to any EC2 instances deployed in this subnet. So if I click that modify, by default it is unchecked. This means it's going to remain private. Only private IPs will be given to the EC2 instances inside this subnet. So I'm going to keep this as is. I'm going to cancel out from here because I want this subnet to be private, and anyone wants to connect can connect through VPN only. So this done, and I'm going to go for my screenshots, and the document for that is already on LMS, and you can just follow from there as well. Like you can see that, but there may be some gaps there, so just follow what I'm doing. And so I'm going to go for launch of virtual machine here, and so I'm just going to go for the top machine, which is the Amazon Linux 2 machine there, and with latest packages. So I'm just going to deploy that. So I'm going to see 2 or 3 screenshots here. Obviously the correct VPC and correct subnet, and it should be auto-assign public IP should be disabled, or it will follow the settings. Then I'm going to just name that machine, and the security group, that's where we're going to be discussing what are we allowing traffic for this particular machine in the office, right? So I'm going to reach here and then we're going to discuss. So this is the VPC dashboard where I just created a VPC and subnet. I'm going to go to the North Virginia, or the left side of our environment, North Virginia and EC2 dashboard now, because I need to create a virtual machine. So now I'm just going to go inside the instances and I'm going to launch the Linux machine. So I'm just going to click the launch instance here, and whatever the first Linux machine is, let's click that, select, and then obviously we'll stick to t2.micro. So then I'll go for configure instance details. That's where we just understand that's the basics or easy stuff. You have to just connect it to the correct VPC A, and there's only one subnet there, that is a private subnet. It's showing here anyway, and it is already saying Autosome public IP is on disable, so it's already following that. It's not gonna get a public IP, but for just to be clear about the configuration, when we quickly even see that, we'll see that okay, don't assign public IP. I put it disable, although it's already doing that. So placement group, we don't need high availability for now. Capacity reservation, no, nothing. ENROLL, we don't need anything of that. So everything else is okay, other than that we have the network here and the subnet. So I'm just going to go to add storage now. And in add storage, 8 GB disk for that machine is okay. And I'm going to go to add tags now. So nothing changed here. In the add tag, I'm just going to put that name here, and we're just naming it obviously what it is. So it's EC2 dash office, so A dash office. So A and B we're just putting as a separation between the machines and its office side. So EC2 A office, right? Or whatever name you want to give for showing that it is belonging to. So now here we need to make sure that the correct security group and correct type of traffic is allowed here, right? So what we're going to do is create a new security group. We can just call this security group as SG-A-office as well, and control A, control C, and control V. So it's a security group for the EC2 for the office side. And even there I could have just added there n.v if it lets me put the dot here. That's North Virginia side, but we know that it is already in North Virginia side, just to put some more information. In fact, control C previous and control V, it's not compulsory what I'm doing, it's just to put some extra information. It's North Virginia side. So guys, here this is a machine, Linux machine, so obviously we won't need RDP, we need SSH for that, right? Port 22. So here what is needed is that either you will connect from my IP or you will connect from anywhere, right? Or if it's a custom one. So I'm going to connect anywhere. Why? And suppose you're following, and even if you're following later by following the video, my suggestion is stick to 0000 there. Why? Because when we connect to the Linux machine, there are many ways to connect to it, right? So one way is PuTTY. You can connect from PuTTY. Maybe some of you know that. Maybe all of you know that. But then we're going to initiate a connection from within the browser to the Linux machine. So if you select my IP here, so and your IP, your DSL IP, home DSL IP will appear here. So in that case, what will happen is that when you initiate a connection from within the browser to the Linux machine, it will not let you connect, because you're supposed to connect from your laptop, not from within the browser. So if you want to connect from within the browser, we're going to go for anywhere IP here. I'm going to show you as soon as when we are connecting to the Linux machines, that what I mean by connecting from within the browser to the Linux machine. But right now it's crucial that you understand for training environment that don't go for my IP, only make sure you have 0000 here, right, for this particular environment. Okay, that's one thing. And the other traffic is that all ICMP IPv4 traffic, if I go for the diagram as well, so allow all TCP traffic from only this branch, right? and allow ping only from this branch. So if I go here, so here only 2 are added, but we should be adding, and you can see that we will be giving an IP. We haven't even created that, right? But we will be giving an IP of 10.200.00/16 to that branch. So since we're creating a virtual machine now, so I'm just gonna give that IP now. So I'm just gonna SSH. Well, whenever we want to connect, we can connect to this. Second thing is I'm going to add rule here, and that would be that all TCP IP, all TCP traffic, right? So all TCP, this one. So all TCP, and it is all. It's going to be connecting from custom IP range, and that is 10, which we are about to create. It is not there yet. /16. So whatever traffic is coming only from this IP range is acceptable. So this is how we will further make this environment, for our VPN, that no way, no other area it's receiving traffic from, only from that branch, and from there only through VPN. So I'm going to add one more, the ping protocol here as well. So I'm going to click add rule again, and I want to actually add the all ICMP IPv4 as well, right? So all ICMP IPv4, and also it can only come from that other branch that we are about to create now with this IP range. So from anywhere I can connect through SSH and TCP traffic, any type of. So this includes pretty much VPN traffic or DNS traffic or port 50 or SQL server traffic. So just to make sure that we don't have any surprises here when we are trying to connect, right? So that's all ICMP, and then 10.200.00/16, and then we're gonna go for. But once we have added all this, then I'm gonna go for review and lunch. It's about to be dinner, so I'm gonna click review and launch here, and it's just saying that hey, you have 000. We say yeah, whatever. So and then launch. So I'll be using today's key pair, although I have all the previous key pairs there. So it's KB 19Aug2020, and okay, so I'll just download that key pair into downloads folder. So if I had to connect to that machine, I would be able to, and launch instance. So if I click there, so EC2A office, it is already there, right? Now if I go to my diagram here, so yes, this is created. Now let's create other VPC, which will be customer side in North California. So it's gonna get trickier now. Hopefully we're understanding here. That's the main thing. Then as many times you can repeat that. So on the customer side, we're gonna go for 200.000/16, and they're gonna create a subnet that would have internet connection there, right? And I'll just keep going ahead, and what I'll do is I'll try to reach here in North California or US West 1, enable auto assign public IPv4 address. So I'll just go to my browser, and the office side is the left side here. So those two are kind of basic infrastructure is ready. I'm going to go to the right side, the customer side, and there's a Vpc dashboard and there's an EC2 dashboard in North California. I'm going to go first for Vpc dashboard in North California. So here I'm just going to go for your VPC as well, and I'm going to click create VPC. And just like the name we have given in this VPC here, so if I go to your VPC here, so it's VPC A office, so VPC B customer, I'm just gonna give that. I'm gonna go back here, VPC B customer, and the IP range is 10.200.0.0/16 and default. So I'm gonna click. It's just a VPC, right, with the correct name and the correct IP range. So I'm going to click create now and close. So once this VPC is created here, then I'm going to go for subnets of that VPC, and we understand that those subnets will have to be you know, a public subnet. So that subnet has to be public. So if we go back to the diagram here, so it will be a public subnet here. So if we go back here, I'm going to click that create subnet, and whatever name I gave to the subnet there, I'll just keep that naming convention. So private subnet, so public subnet B customer. Okay, so I'm going to go for public subnet B customer, right? And which VPC? Obviously our VPC B customer. And which availability zone? There are only two in you can see that North Virginia is really rich one. It had 6 availability zones. So US West 1 is North California is having just 2 availability zones, right? Well, all the businesses in the east. So 1A there, and then the IP range here is 10.200.0.0/24, the first subnet, and it's gonna be the public subnet, right? So I'm gonna click create now this subnet as well in the customer side. And what we can do is that I'm gonna make sure that it gets a public IP by default. Now we know that the public IP by default is not distributed unless we check that option, right? So I'm going to click that public public subnet in the customer side, and I'm going to click actions, and I'm going to go for modify Autosome IP settings. So there we went, and we didn't do anything, but here we will do that changes. We're going to check that box. So modify Autosome IP settings, which means that, hey, please give me that public IP to my machine here, because that router over the internet needs to create a VPN connection, right?
So this is the basically difference between first VPC and the second one.
So the basic difference would be that the first VPC is having a private subnet, and there is, for now, there is no way to connect from outside to this VPC, and it is accepting all the traffic from the other VPC where it is having a public IP, and it will initiate a VPN connection. So this VPC East one is totally we can say closed from all sides. No type of traffic from outside is allowed until we create a VPN gateway here, and only traffic from this California gateway customer site will be connected here. So this is public because it needs to request VPN connection. This is private because it will only accept VPN. Other than that, it will not accept any type of other traffic. So the difference is, this is the...
So we are initiating the VPN configuration from the customer side.
Yeah. So this is pretending to be on premises branch.
Okay.
And so that would be the... This is not pretending, actually. The on-premises branch, so it's AWS based office, resources deployed behind VPN gateway.
So I have a question. Like instead of like auto assign IP on the customer side, can we do like a specific IP, and how we can do that? If I have to do, instead of this one, I want to do like specific IP, static IP, only allow that connection.
So we're still in AWS, so that's why it's either we can just purchase a elastic IP, and that how many you want to purchase. Once you purchase the elastic IP by going to EIP on the Ec2 dashboard, and then grab that. Yeah, you were saying.
So where do we configure here like that IP?
No, so
on the...
it will not be here. It will be in the Ec2 instance. We haven't deployed yet.
Okay, so SG.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
it's so with the help of SG.
instead of anywhere, yeah. Instead of any, we have to provide the IP address specific.
So but that IP has to be given to something. Then we can provide it to SG. So we have to give it to either gateway or some kind of instance here. We have to give it to then we can
Okay.
add it to SG.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
And there's Vikas is asking, please can you complete last statement about the difference? Is that still the question? Well, so was not that not complete? So, can you ask Vikas a very specific question about that? What's the confusion? Where's the confusion here?
You're saying about what's the basic difference between two VPC. So
Oh yeah.
you finished the first part, but you are about to finish the second one.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
the first one, the basic difference, well, first of all, the diagram-based difference is that this is the office side, this is the customer side. Technical difference is that this is just closed and behind the VPN gateway, which is about to be created, which is not yet created, but nobody can connect to those critical resources here until they have the proper VPN access. So right now the difference is that this private subnet has no outside connection. There's no possibility of outside connection. And the technical difference between the other one right now is that it has a public subnet because, and why it is public, because that router or that machine will request a VPN connection from the VPN gateway that is about to be configured here. So the difference between that is, both is that if you were on premises and you wanted to connect to your office environment in AWS, so you have not been given any public IP. You have been told that, okay, we'll be installing VPN software in your machine in your branch, and from that machine you open that VPN software, and then you can only make connection to that AWS. There is no other way you can connect. So if there was a public IP here in this machine, public IP or PIP, then as we know from our laptop or desktops, we could have connected directly to that machine. But we stopped all that by making it a private IP. So there's no public IP here. And only way to connect through any of the other environments here is to connect through VPN. So technical difference is that this is right now public, and we will be installing a EC2 instance here, and later it will be requesting that VPN connection from this branch to that branch, right? All right. Good. So here, let us try to. What we're going to try to achieve is that if the router, that one instance can connect, and then anyone behind that can connect as well. But connecting even this one, you will see how not easy it is. So in simplest way to explain. But guys, any kind of question for why are you doing this step, why not that step, and public and according to the diagram or whatever I'm doing, so please do ask that. Every question regarding what I'm doing is most welcome, right? Okay, so I'm just making this subnet public because there will be a router there that needs to, over the internet, request a VPN connection, right? So that's why this subnet has to be public. So I'm just going to click save here. So this is a public subnet, and its EC2 instances will now be able to get public IP because I enabled this option. So on the other side, the EC2 instance in that one will not get a public IP because we kept it unchecked there. So here it should be checked. Okay, now we understand what we did and why we did that. So what and why both are very, very important, right? So the next step would be, then I'm just gonna go down.
Just question, please.
Sure.
This public IP address that you have assigned from here, can we add it from EC2 settings? Enable public subnet instead from here, or?
Well, EC2 settings will follow the subnet settings, and we can change from there as well. If we don't make any changes there to assign public IP, then it will follow whatever setting is there for this particular option. So this will come in the yes when we create a EC2 instance, and it will follow whatever is configured here on this level.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, guys. So here, and we are going down to now. Let's create internet gateway for public subnet of customer VPC. So what are we doing now? According to the diagram, we have configured just the VPC and just the private subnet and just the EC2 instance, right? With the SG, right? Okay, Ashraf is asking why we use Linux. Now, Ashraf, Linux we're using, first of all, it's easy to configure. Second thing, it's OpenSwan. This software we really need, and that is best configured in Linux instead of Windows. And you know, I am the biggest Windows guy, right? I love Windows. I have Windows in my apartment as well. That much I love Windows. Oh, just kidding. So anyway, so so like everyone else doesn't have. Okay. So, but the thing is, this requires Linux, and you know, we have to be crazy about Linux, because you see, even in when you're selecting virtual machines or EC2 instances in AWS or in Azure, majority of the machines are Linux flavors and very few are Windows flavors. Windows takes more CPU, RAM, SSD for its basic working. Linux takes very less CPU, RAM for its basic working. So in your production environment, they might prefer, suppose they will ask you, hey, can you deploy 50 machines? So 50 machines of Windows might charge more than 50 machines of Linux, right? So it comes down to charges then. So I've never gone in favor of Linux like I've just talked now. So there must be something wrong with me right now. But anyway, it's a reality right now that it's you know, the router OpenSwan only works with Linux, and there's no Windows-based OpenSwan. Or if it's there, then oh yeah, Chintan says Linux is more secure than Windows and easy to configure routing and VPN. Well, yeah, easy is, you know, it's a perspective. If somebody has been working on Linux, yes, it's easy. If it's the first time or second or third time or rarely, then it's very confusing. So the first time, right? But I will be pushing you towards Linux and try to get more knowledge about Linux. I'm trying to create some smaller videos of Linux so you could follow and really clarify, and you should be very comfortable with Linux, right? I was forced to use Linux here. Okay, confession. So, but I really loved using it. So anyway, let's go ahead and you know, whenever there's a Linux post available in the market, it's always, I don't know why it's 80,000 per year, it's 100,000 per year, seriously. And Windows, oh, you need to know 20 more things and then Windows. Yeah, because Windows everyone knows. Okay, anyway, so let's go ahead, guys, and what we were talking about here is I'm gonna go to the next steps. Oh, not this, here. So yes, internet gateway. Why are we deploying that, and where are we deploying that? So whichever EC2 instance needs to connect to internet needs to have an internet gateway deployed, otherwise no internet, right? So we did that in our VPC lab as well. So this side, office side, we will not deploy internet gateway because it's totally private. It's only accepting VPN connections. So that's very good. So no way it's connecting to internet or outside. So but this machine has to connect because it's going to request a VPN connection from over the internet to the VPN gateway here. So for that, we need to deploy internet gateway. Not only that, we need to deploy internet gateway, we need to tell internet gateway, hey, internet gateway, you are connecting to this VPC, and after that, this particular subnet. So routing table will, you know, define that. So not only we define internet gateway, we will defining a route table to make that connection between the gateway and the VPC and subnet, right? So let's do that. We're going to create internet gateway first, then we're going to create a route table to tell it where to forward the traffic. I'm going to go back here, and so I'm in the North California on the customer side, and here we have internet gateway, this one. So remember that we did that lab in VPC as well. So internet gateway, and I'll just have to create that internet gateway now. So click create internet gateway, and this is IGW-B-customer. So customer has to connect outside. So obviously we are using AWS as a platform for customer as well. If it was a Toronto branch or, you know, on premises, then you would have just through your router's public IP, you would have connected outside. So IGW-B-customer. Once this is configured, I'm just gonna, that's it, the name is there. So it's just asking a name, and I'm gonna click create internet gateway. And after that, once internet gateway is created, then I need to tell this internet gateway through a route table to connect to this the VPC that I created and the subnet inside that we created, right? So the route table can only tell that to this internet gateway. So I'm going to click that route table now in North California on the customer side, and I'm going to click that create route table. Also this rt-v-customer IGW. So the main purpose is, it's first of all it's on the customer side, and second thing, it's actually making connection of IGW. It's created for IGW, Internet Gateway. So which VPC in that region, you won't see obviously the East region, the North Virginia region VPC. You will only see your this region VPC. That VPC is not available here obviously. So VPC B, and that's it. So I'm just gonna click create here. So we haven't defined anything, we just created the router by giving it a name, right? So this is RTB customer, and I'm just gonna expand that. So this routing table needs to be configured. So if you go to the diagram, as I explained that, so this routing table needs to tell that, hey, internet gateway, on one side it is connected to internet gateway, on the other side it will make that connection to the VPC and then to the public. So this is kind of a bridge we're creating between IGW and this VPC. So this EC2 instance later, then we are about to deploy, can get internet connection. Okay, so let us do that. I'm inside the routing table, and I'm going to go to routes here and subnet associations. So I'm going to go to routes. Routes is the IGW or internet gateway side of connectivity we can define here, while in subnet association, the other side, that which VPC and which exact subnet this IGW is connecting, or this routing table is making us connect. So on the route side, let's click the edit routes here, and then we need to click add route. And here, so where is the internet gateway expecting traffic from? From the internet, 0.0.0.0. So it will be this one that is just popped up. And who is expecting traffic from anywhere on the internet? So which appliance or which device is doing that? So yes, it is the internet gateway. Internet gateway. So and that IGW, seriously, are you kidding me? Did I not create that?
Attach internet gateway first for that.
Sorry?
You need to attach it. To attach the internet gateway first.
Yes, you're right. Thank you, sir. So here, I did not do the next thing. It was all attached here, and detached here. Thank you, Mohammad, for that. Okay, and I'm gonna go for this selection here for this IGWB customer, and then go for attach to VPC. Yay! And then we attach to V and B and C, right? So attach internet gateway. Wow, you know, what a small step. And thank you for letting me know that, or reminding me. So I'm just going to go to route tables here, and then I'm going to go for route table here, and then I'm going to go for routes again, edit routes, and add route. So 0, and we get that 000 and IGW, and now it appears there, IGWB customer, and then save routes, save routes, save routes. You know, this far it's supposed to be straightforward. It's when the Linux machine has to be configured and the router has to be configured, that's where it gets tricky. Hopefully it's all good. So routing table is you know, on the, at least on the IGW side, it's configured, and it says that this IGW will be connected on this side of the routing table. So let's go to the subnet association side, or the subnet side, and then click that edit subnet association for this routing table as well. And there, which subnet is connecting to? Obviously this subnet. There's only one subnet there, so that's the public subnet from where the router will be requesting the VPN connection from the East US, North Virginia. So save that. Now if we go back to the diagram, what we have done is, so this routing table has told this IGW that this is the VPC and public, you need to connect, and whatever traffic is coming from whichever virtual machine inside this public subnet will go through the IGW to the internet. So now if we go back to the pictures as well, so so I did attach here. I didn't see that picture, see, attached to VPC, but I didn't go to that picture. And so at least the that picture side which you have on the LMS is still correct. And my nice memory is just not working. Okay, so here internet gateway and then routing gateway. Yeah, we did all that, route table and everything. Let's create EC2 instance in North California. So that's where, well, creation is no problem, but configuring and installing OpenSwan, so you need to follow all the steps there. And hopefully you've worked before in Linux. If not, then this will be a good experience for you as well. And my suggestion is that you must know Linux architecture, and you must play with Linux machines. Okay. So let's go for creating another virtual machine in the North California region, and it's going to be the same, the first one, Amazon Linux 2, and connecting to the same VPC and subnet, and giving the name tag there. So where it comes down to SG, that's where we're going to discuss that. What traffic are we allowing and what traffic are we not allowing? So now I'm going to go for the customer side's EC2 dashboard in North California here, and in the instances I'm going to click that launch instance, and then Amazon Linux 2 AMI, select t2.micro, configure instance details, and we know the VPC, so VPC B customer, simple thing, right? There's only one subnet there. It's using use subnet, which is enable, so in the bracket it says enable, so it's okay, we don't need to do anything. It's gonna receive an public IP, the EC2 instance that we're already creating now. So the rest is okay, nothing much for particular our lab. And let's click add storage. Nothing in the storage, it's just 8 GB. And then in tags we can just name it as so it's EC2 dash B dash customer dash N.C, which is North California, right? So N.V, no voice, no, it's not Virginia. So let's go ahead, configure security group. And now we need to again check that what's the logic here, so this is the machine on the customer side, this is on-premises machine. Well, in AWS we need to still open traffic, even in on-premises. Suppose it was on the branch, on the router, you still need to open some kind of traffic there, right, for this virtual machine. So what kind of traffic we should be opening for our particular scenario here to make that VPN happen? So for that, if we go down to this, so there's that all TCP traffic 10 from the 1000 is only acceptable. So it is accepting traffic only from the this side A. This is also mentioned here. Storage group, security group, allow SSH from anywhere. Okay, this is very, very important. Allow SSH if you want this lab to work the way I'm working on it. Otherwise, there are many other ways to connect to Linux, but we're going for SSH way. Well, SSH, this is the way only you connect, but from not my IP, from anywhere. So when I say my IP or anywhere, this my IP, the way I'm going to connect, I don't want to connect through my IP. I'm going to connect from anywhere. So I'm going to show you what I mean by that. All TCP, it is only accepting traffic from Office A. So this means that we're going to give the range, IP range of this 10.100 here. So, and all ICMP. So all kind of ping is only allowed from Office A as well. So this is pretty much same like what we configured here on this side. So they are just accepting each other's traffic. So, and this is totally closed, and only way to connect with this is through VPN. Otherwise, and they are only accepting traffic from each other. So I'm just going to go for inbound traffic now here, and that is inbound routes, right? So that's showing here. So I'm going to create that now. SG dash B dash customer dash N.C dash US dash North America dash planet Earth dash Milky Way galaxy. So Control A, Control C, and then Control A, Control V. And yes, guys, it is crucial. The way I'm going to connect to the virtual EC2 instance, Linux EC2 instance, I'm going to keep it this. If you select my IP, maybe you can connect from PuTTY as well. If you're connected to Linux machine through PuTTY, I'm going to connect from within the AWS. I'm going to show you how. So for that, I need to have this 0000. Well, is it written 00? Yeah. So yeah, it is written, but I don't know. Anyway, and then click Add Rule. So I need all the TCP traffic here, not ICP. So all TCP I'm selecting, but only from 10.100.0.0/16. And then I'm going to click Add Rule again, and I'm going to select the traffic all ICMP. I want to ping as well. So that is also from just the other branch. Although we just need from customer to the office site, that if the VPN is connected, but obviously it opens both ways. Okay, we're accepting traffic from this one. So this is very important, guys, what you're configuring here. Otherwise, at the end, we'll be still thinking what went wrong, right? So review and launch. And launch. So I'm going to choose the same, choose an existing key pair. Okay, I'm not going to choose the same. So KP, because it's the other side, so it's not showing the key pairs of the North Virginia side. This is North California side, right? So they have their own key pair history. So KP here, and then 19Aug2020. That is it. Download key pair. And in downloads folder, save. Now this machine we need to connect, so that key pair we need it. So anyway, well, actually we're not gonna connect from over the internet to this or from the laptop, or if you're connecting from PuTTY, then you would need that. So launch instances. So this instance is being launched, and I'm gonna click that ID here so it could start as well. Linux. Then I'm gonna go back here. So now if we see the diagram, so this machine is in place, and now this machine is in place. It's all connectivity through an internet gateway to the internet is also configured. Its security group is also configured. Now we need to go inside this machine and configure OpenSwan, or in fact, if you have configured the basic infrastructure, the VPC subnet, security group, route table, IGW, and EC2 instances, right? So then we can actually first make the office side VPN gateway connectivity. We can just configure that first, right? Once that office side is saying, hey, client side, we are ready to receive your VPN connection. So then we'll go to the client side, and we're going to work on the client side to initiate that VPN request, right? So we'll now try to configure the office side so it could accept VPN connection. So if I go down here, yes, we have done that. So now we're going to go back to North Virginia side, the office side. In order to connect from customer gateway to office, we need to create VPG, virtual private gateway, on office side to configure office side, AWS side of the connection. So virtual private gateway's only purpose is to collect the information of connectivity from the AWS side or the office side. So there has to be some information of connectivity gathered. So virtual private gateway offers that when VPN gateway asks that information. Hey, office side, how do I connect? So virtual private gateway says, oh, I can tell you, Mr. VPN. And then on the customer side, how do I connect? VPN asks, then the customer gateway side just gives that information to VPN, right? So let's configure that virtual private gateway now. And so if we go where? So we're going to go back to North Virginia, right? We're going to go way down to the gateways, and in the under the VPN, we're going to first click that virtual private gateway, and then we're going to name it VPG A office, yes. And then we need to attach it to the A office VPC, and then once it is attached, then we're going to create the customer gateway as well, right? Customer gateway, and that will gather the customer side of information. So let's create first and attach the that virtual private gateway that is going to collect information for the office side and give it to the VPN. So I'm going to go back to this diagram of the browser. Now I do not want to stay on the client side. I'm going to go to the office side here, and I'm going to go to the VPC dashboard, right? In the North Virginia VPC dashboard, I'm going to go way down to virtual private gateway network. Sorry, virtual private network. Under that is customer gateway and virtual private gateway, right? So let us click that virtual private gateway. So the purpose of that gateway is to collect information about the office side or the VPN gateway side. Okay, so I'm going to click that create virtual private gateway here, and once we click that, so we can just go for VPG on what side? -A -office. So when VPN asks, VPG will properly offer that information about their site. So VPG office, and then there is create virtual private gateway here and close. It is detached right now, so we're gonna go for actions and attach it to VPC.
So IPsec is by default, right? The type IPsec.
In the VPN, yes. Which protocol it's using, it depends on that, but yes, it shows here IPsec by default. So this is already very good, and we talked about that, that it is specifically for security, IP security or IPsec. Oh, let me just, 1 second, guys. Okay, so it's attaching. We don't need to really wait for that. And then we're going to go for the other one, and that is customer gateway.
I think it's done. We just refresh it and that will be attached.
Cool, man. Hey, that's good. Thank you. Okay, so let's go for customer gateway still. So now we understand that the customer gateway is there for grabbing customer information. So let's create a customer gateway which is for the customer side of the connection, and we need the public IP of the router on the customer side as well to put in this gateway. So this gateway needs to collect information about the customer side. Obviously the customer side information is just this this guy. So there's an EC2 instance that was deployed that is having a public IP. Now we need that public IP to place it in the customer gateway. So we could just simply so the customer gateway could tell it to the VPN side-to-side VPN wizard what is the information on the customer side of the customer. So I'm just gonna go back to yep.
So why are we using virtual private gateway if we can put the information in customer gateways?
So virtual private gateway is the office side or the AWS side of connectivity information. So without VPG, so when VPN is about to be connected, so it needs connectivity information of the AWS side or the office side. So that information is provided by VPG, and it needs the information for the client side. So that information is provided by CG, that is also still created here on the AWS side. So VPG has to provide information what is the IP range here on the AWS VPN gateway side, and customer gateway now we're about to deploy, so it could gather information about this area, right? Okay, so let us go ahead, and now we're gonna go for the customer gateway. So I'm just going to click that customer gateway and click that create customer gateway, and it's asking information. So it also, you can use static protocols there or dynamic protocols as well, but if I go back to these, so you can see that well, I just wanted to put that name there, launch is what do you mean by launch? Yeah, launch instance, because I'm showing that launch instance here because there's a public IP at that time, whatever I got. So I needed to get that IP first from this instance, and yeah. Okay, so what we can do is when we click that create customer gateway, but before that we can just go to the North California site and simply click that machine and get its public IP and put it in some notepad. I'll just open the notepad so I could use that information later. So I'll go to the browser, and before I go ahead, because it's actually asking that here now, so I'll keep it open here on the office side, and I'm going to go to the client side where the Ec2 dashboard is there in North California, and here the machine is already started, and I can see that there is a public IP already given here. So I'm just going to copy that public IP. This is going to be a router, so definitely this public IP we really need for the customer gateway that is created there. So this customer gateway will provide this information to the site-to-site VPN wizard later. So I'm going to put that public IP here, and whatever your public IP is, those we're following. So this is just the customer gateway, so cg-a-office, but for info for customer gateway, customer IP, public PIP, we can say public IP, info customer PIP, but it's created on the office side, containing information about the customer. So if you want that discovered after it gets some IP ranges there, so dynamic would also be used, but in production environment you would use that, but here we're going for static here. So Wakas asks there that so both VPG and CG are on AWS side. Exactly, yes. So so guys, that's why this diagram will be, at the start when I was showing there, obviously we haven't gone through all that, right? So it would not have been very clear. But if I go now here, so we just created region, then we went to region, VPCA private, and then we created instance there. Then we went for the second one, we created VPC public subnet and auto-signed it, and then the virtual machine EC2 instance. Then we created internet gateway, route table there. Now on the office side, we created the private gateway, create VPG in North Virginia for AWS side of connectivity, and then now we're creating the customer gateway in North Virginia for customer side of connectivity, but those two have to be created, as you said, on the office side or the VPN side. And then there's Chetan saying if this public IP change is as it's dynamic on EC2 instance, so we have to add here again, right? Exactly, for our particular lab, it has to be the same IP. Otherwise, if it changes after a couple of restarts, then yes, normally it retains there. I think the lease is longer, their IP lease, public IP lease from AWS to this machine. But in production environment, obviously it has to be a static public IP. But here, if it changes, yes, we have to change. All right. So here we're on this stage where we're about to create customer gateway. But after that, then the VPN actual connection starts, and it asks information about, hey, VPG, you got something for me, and yes, VPG is placed there, and then hey, CG, customer gateway, you got something for me. So it gives that information on the client side, and then we make the VPN gateway configured, and then it says, okay, client side, we're all ready here on the office side. You can now initiate that VPN request to us. So, but we're still on the final stages of configuring a VPN gateway on the office side, on the AWS side. Okay, so I'll just put that back and go back here. So there's that IP here, but then certificate ARN, if you want to make it secure, then you can go for certificate manager and then try to give that specific ID for that certificate. That is a security certificate that really makes the traffic encrypted. but we're going to leave it as is, or if there's somebody who wants to try the certificate, you can purchase a
Hi, from where we can buy this certificate?
yeah, so if I go for this, I'll just make it so it's godaddy.com or dgcert.com, dgcert, right? So these are there are 20-30 more certificate authorities from where you can purchase public certificate that you can use. So when you purchase that, at that time you have to mention the name exactly. There's a standard SSL, EV SSL, multi-domain, EV, and wildcard SSL, which just gives, you can just put a domain there, star.domain. So anything before that domain, suppose it's abc.com or abc.local. So before that, server1.abc.local, server2.abc.local, that's called wildcard. It's a bit less secure, but you can go for SAN certificates, which is normally not SAN, the storage area network. There's a SAN certificate where you can just put only the machine name. It just encodes that into the certificate. Only that certificate can be used for that particular machine or particular site. So, and that ranges from $200 up to $2,000 per year, depends on what kind of security you need in that certificate, how in-depth the security is required there. So you have to go to CA and then purchase those certificates there and then come back.
Can you put these links on the WhatsApp if you don't mind, please?
So here, in WhatsApp, I place those, and I'll just, so I'll place it in that file as well, where
Thank you.
so certificate authorities on the internet selling public security certificates. Oops. Wow. Oh man. Oh, it's 750. Okay, so let us go ahead and try to check out what we were doing. So we're going to keep it static, and we're going to click create customer gateway, right? So, and click close. So there's that customer gateway created that is having the customer IP information. So this is not its IP, this is IP of that router that is about to be a router, right? So I'm just going to go back to that drawing or the step-by-step there. So back to North Virginia, creating customer gateway. Yeah, we just did that. So at that time I got this IP 54.176, but well, I deleted that machine obviously. So the customer gateway is created as well. Now then let's create site-to-site VPN gateway with static routing there. So we're just creating that fixed static routing with our configuration. So it's going to ask for the VPN name, and then virtual private gateway, it will ask, hey, did you create that? And then customer gateway, it will ask that, did you create that too? Yes, we create both of those. So it's going to look like that. I'm just going for a few further pages there and where we need to reach. So once we define the two gateways there, CG and VPG, then we're going to leave the rest of this, adding the static IP range of private IP of VPC-B here. So, okay, we're going to reach here, then we're going to discuss what is this. So let's go back to our North Virginia environment, and that is our office site. And here, we're going to go down to this site-to-site VPN. So once we click that create VPN connection, and then it's it's a customer or the company side office side to side VPN. So since I'm putting A all this time, so office dash A dash side-to-side VPN. And yes, is it gonna be virtual private gateway, or is it gonna be transit gateway? Transit gateway just tries to give that information about the main connectivity there. let me just put that Transit Gateway AWS, so we could know the difference between those. So AWS Transit Gateway connects VPCs and on-premises networks through the central hub. This simplifies your network and puts an end to complex peering relationships. It acts as a cloud router. Each new connection is only made once. As you expand globally, inter-region peering connects AWS Transit Gateways together using the AWS global network. Your data is automatically encrypted and never travels over the public internet. So it's, first of all, it uses a total AWS backbone network, and second thing is it is just for VPC to on-premises networks connectivity, right? So virtual private gateway is then it is providing that connectivity, or it's just providing the office side connectivity or AWS side of information, connectivity information there. But transit gateway helps you connect from VPC to on-premises. So here, if we go back, so we're using VPG because VPN, for that VPN, we want VPG only to give us the office side of information and not the client side right now. So because we have configured the CG for that, so that's how VPN should be configured properly. So although we can configure the other way as well. So here's VPG that we created there, and then we're going for customer gateway, and that's what we already also configured. That will tell the client information about to the VPN. And if we go further down here, so there is that routing information. Dynamic requires BGP or border gateway protocol, right? Or static. So we're gonna go for static here because we don't have any tough routers there on the other side. Or tough means actually advanced configuration supporting routers. It's gonna be a very basic router there, OpenSwan. And then we also don't want to wait that long because you know, the connectivity and configuration takes time. The discovery takes time, and there's some more commands that we need to give, more complicated commands. So static routing, at least we can confirm that VPN even works or not. Even that is what we're doing now is not that easy. So what is this? It's talking about static IP prefixes. So it is talking about that, okay, when you are, hey client, okay, I'm allowing you to connect from here to the office, but I need to know what is the private IP range that you're using there. So if I know that your public IP, whatever you provided to the customer gateway, I know that now. But when you do connect, make a connection from behind that public IP, so what is your private IP? I need to know that. So that's why it's important that it should not be overlapping. So suppose you put 10.100 here, and that's a totally separate environment, but you also put 10.100 range here because you thought that it's a private separate environment and we might never connect. But later you got that requirement to make a connectivity, and you're saying, oh seriously, okay, so it's supposed to be different IP ranges. Well, if you had that plan of connectivity, you would make that different. So the thing is that the office wants to know, the VPN wants to know when the machine is coming, what private IP range it will belong to. That's what it's asking here. So we know that private range that it belongs to. So there's that 10.200.0.0/16. So if we go to that here, so it is 10.200.0.0/16. So that's what we need to put here. So this is what they can expect the traffic coming from, and the IP range on the other side's private network. So once that is configured, then there are tunnel options here, and there is tunnel 1. There's a inside IPv4 CIDR range for tunnel 1, pre-shared key for tunnel 1, and inside IPv4 CIDR range for tunnel 2, and pre-shared key for tunnel 2. So pre-shared key is, so CIDR range, if you have given extra ranges there for /30 CIDR in the 169 range, suppose you don't touch it, so it's still gonna work for us. Otherwise you can define another IP range for the tunnel as well, because the router is there, but we don't have to define that. Even if you see 169 there, remember that I showed you one diagram here, and if I just make it big, so my VPN connection was good, the client side IP was this, but the tunnel IP inside the tunnel 169.254. This is, you know, a PIPA, automatic private IP addressing, but still we were able to make that connection. So you don't have to really define there for our environment, but in production environment you can define an IP for that tunnel as well, so you could know that where the traffic is coming from during the monitoring software. Internal gateway range instances. Okay, so if we go back here, so guys, 8 till 8:20 break, because okay, I'll just finish that VPN gateway, then we can take a break there. So guys, here pre-shared key is that if you want to put a key or a passphrase or small abc, some kind of password here, so that password has to be defined when the VPN connection is being established. So otherwise, if we leave it as is, so they're gonna generate their own pre-shared key, which means that the key is being shared between the VPN gateway and the VPN client side, which will be automatically generated. So, and how the client side will know the key, because we're gonna later download a file from the VPN side to be added to the client side, to be given to the client side. So anyway, we don't have to define that or generate that pre-shared key. We can just go for, you know, we can let it generate the pre-shared key.
So if you define the key, then it should be same for both,
Yes.
like then.
Shared key has to be same for both, and otherwise it's going to manage those keys itself. Right? Okay, so here advanced options for tunnel. So we're just going to go for the default options here. Edit tunnel 1 options or tunnel 2 options, because there's a lot more that we still need to do. So we're going to stick to the default configurations for now and click create VPN connections. But what we did configure was we gave a name, and then we gave a VPG, and then we gave customer ID or CGW as well. CGW, seriously, the customer gateway, and then we defined that on the other side the private range will be this, and it will be a static. So then we are clicking that create VPN connection and close. So now this is gonna take some time to get created, the VPN range. So we can actually right now from 8 till 8:20 we can take a break, and I need to actually breathe and get some water. So we're gonna meet back at 8:20. By this time we will have that's just half what we did, but thank you. We're going to be doing a lot more in Linux. Okay, so that would be great, and I was not crying just now. So okay, so let's meet after break. Yeah, so this is 8 till 8:20. This is gonna be the prayer break as well, right? Oh, thank you. So okay, 8 till 8:20. I think it covers both prayers, or whatever. So that will be the only one, right? Oh. Refresh this VPN, so it's available. So now just a recap of what we were doing. So we have actually deployed the gateways there. So if we check our slide again, so there's a VPC private subnet we created, Ec2 instances and storage security group we created. Then in North California we created VPC B, and then we created public subnet, and then Autosome IP was enabled for just that one. Ec2 instance was created, security group for that was also created, internet gateway routing table was created. Then we created virtual private gateway to have information collected about the office side of network, and then the customer gateway collected information of the client side. We gave those two gateways to the VPN connection, side-to-side VPN, and so VPG was the AWS side and CG was the other client side. And after that is where we fight with the Linux machine. Oh, actually we configure the Linux machine there, not fight, kind of fight, but the thing is that we really need to make sure that we understand then what are the next steps there. So let's get going with our rest of those steps. So if I so here VPN was created and configured. Now in North California, let's go to router instance and connect to it from within AWS with option Ec2 Instance Connect browser based SSH connection. And well, that's what I need to add here, that for this we need to have SG configured with SSH connection. So with Linux machine, you always connect with secure shell or SSH connection, and that is 0.0.0.0/0. So if you want to go this way, and we're going to make connection now, and you will see what I mean. So here, let us go ahead now, and all other drawings. Okay, so I'm going to connect to this machine now. I'm going to go inside this Linux router. So guys, normally we may have to reconnect after disconnecting from it. Sometimes it just freezes out when it is connected for a longer time. Change to super user. So we're going to connect to this machine, then we're going to change to the super user. Just like administrator account is the top account in Windows, so it's sudo su, or su is the account, or root account is what we need to connect to. By default, it connects to ec2-user there. And other than that, install the OpenSwan package. So we're going to give a command here, yum install OpenSwan -y. So this is the command which is used for yum would be installing. This command is used to deploy something. So yum install, although it's dinner time, so yep, I'm looking for yum as well. So yum install -y. So this is going to deploy the OpenSwan package or software there. It's gonna try to running transaction, and then it's gonna say complete here. So after that, we're gonna go for then let's open our file ipsec.conf with the help of file editor. So there's a file editor called Vim. So meet Vim. So this is a file editor, and you can open files with this, and you can edit the files with this. So I'm going to be explaining all that. What are we looking at, and why are we doing this? And then it keeps on going. If you want to exit the file editor, just like Notepad is the file editor here, right? This Notepad. So there's that Vim is the file editor. You want to go out of this, then there's a wq command to go out of it. So some of the Linux gurus here would know that right away. But we're gonna just try to configure some of the files there, and I'll try to explain that. If you are a Cisco guru, then you would be doing that in production environment in Cisco. But since it's cloud everywhere, so you might face Linux one day or the other day, but you will be facing Linux. So why don't you just practice now, right? So let us go ahead. So first of all, we're going to connect to the Linux. So let's connect to the Linux machine here. And for that, we need to go to the North California and to the dashboard here. So I'm just going to go to the browser. And this is, so this is the VPC. In fact, why did I open that here? Okay. So there's a route table. So this is the VPC dashboard again. And this is the EC2 dashboard on the client side. North California here. So I'm just gonna go, this is the Linux EC2 instance already there, and what we need to do is we can click the connect button after selecting that. Once you click the connect button, so there are 3 ways to connect. It also shows you how to connect with the PuTTY software if you want to connect from your laptop. Otherwise, easy way is just connect through this session manager. Also, it's going to launch the connection from here, but this is just a browser-based SSH connection, so it's going to let you connect right away, instantly. So the security group has to allow 0000, right, for this to be successful. So I'm just gonna click connect here, and we're inside. It seems like we're inside the machine. Okay, we are. And then there is Ec2-user is the default user here that has no privileges, very basic end user privileges, right? So we need to connect to the top user. So there's a command, there's sudo su, that just let me log in from, just means just please let me log in from the super user. When you press enter, this is the root user that you're connecting to. That has all the, we all know that in Linux the top user is the root user there, right? And once we are inside the machine, then we can just try to check it out, what we need to basically do here. So I'm just going to, it was easy for me to put it on the second screen. In fact, I'll just put that in the second, but I want to show you as well that how good is, or how valid is this documentation. So that's why I can just put it on my second screen as well, then you won't see what I'm seeing here. So change to super user, done. And then once we're in the super user, so whenever you're doing that, because you may have to disconnect after some time, so make sure that you're not an EC2 user, you're always working in the root user for this to all the next steps to happen successfully. Now we're going to just deploy that yum install -y, and I'll just put that quickly in WhatsApp as well. This is to deploy OpenSwan, right? Okay, so I'll just put that now there, yum install OpenSwan -y. -y, and it's so it just deploys the OpenSwan software there. And one more thing is that if I just put that name here, OpenSwan in browser, and then OpenSwan, in the field of computer security, OpenSwan provides a complete IPsec implementation for Linux 2.0 to 4.6 kernels. OpenSwan began as a fork of the now defunct FreeSwan project, continues to that. And if we go further there for how to install OpenSwan, no, but here. So it's an IPsec implementation for Linux. It has support for most of the extensions, and IPsec, ICAV, digital certificates, NAT traversal, and many others. So it can do a lot of stuff related to remote connectivity. So that's why we chose that. Otherwise, there are many other software, but this is some of the more famous ones where you're trying to connect from, where you want to actually use VPN gateway in the lab. And production environment in small companies, they might be still using that here. So anyway, we're inside that machine, OpenSwan, and well, we have installed in the Linux machine the OpenSwan software, and then enter to just have some breathing space here. Okay, so I breathe now. Okay, let's go ahead, and then what we need to do once we install the through that software installation. So we need to go to ipsec.conf with the help of file editor called vim, and make sure there is a line at the end of that is uncommented. If already uncommented, then keep going. So what are we talking about? There is a file called ipsec.conf that is already inside this Linux machine, and that file later, when we create a VPN tunnel, so there will be some more code automatically written there at that time. This file is needed at that time. So we're gonna just go inside that file. We're gonna check out that the last comment, which is so whatever is hash or pound sign is always just the comments, but whatever command is there, it should not be commented, or there should not be a pound or hash sign before that, right? So we just need to make sure that our IPsec dot, so this, if we don't have a comment before that, so this means that we can, the VPN connection, when it is created, it would create a lot of other commands here. If it wants to write something itself, it will be able to write something after this, right? So, but ipsec.conf is ipsec.configuration. During VPN connection, it would need to access this file, the VPN connectivity. For that, this file will be accessed. So I'm just gonna go inside that. Well, I'm already inside there, and I'm gonna give this command vim, and then there's a path here /etc. So the command would be vim/etc, which is the folder structure of any Linux machine, and then ipsec.conf. So I put that. So it's pretty simple command, but then the ipsec.conf will be opened inside the file editor called vim, right? So I'm just gonna put that here and there as well. Well, there are small commands, you would have typed it if anyone's following. So I'm just gonna copy this now, and although I should have typed it, but suppose I feel lazy. Oh, okay. Right click does not do that. So vim and then /etc/ipsec.conf, and once we go inside, so we can see that all is well. That includes is not there's no comment before that. If there's a comment, it's not gonna execute, but it's gonna execute. And it just says that whoever wants to write something more in this file, whenever the VPN is created and the IPsec tunnels, IPsec services are required or needed, so and they need to write something here, they will write something here. So guys, here we just need to type on this page here :WQ, and it will. This is a weird way to exit, right? They're gonna create a command there, just exit. Right, but anyway, so $, no, did I say $? Oh yeah, it's :WQ, and small case. It's very case sensitive. So I'm just gonna press enter, and it's going to be out of this Vim editor, right? Then I'm gonna just get some breathing space here, and then we can go ahead. What we are doing next is it is okay, already uncommented, so this file is ready to be written if anyone wants it to write anything, any service in the background for IPsec wants to write inside. Then yes, we are out when we typed WQ, :WQ. So let's edit another file to configure our router. This machine will act as a router to connect to the other corporate network. So we need to set these settings. Which settings? So we're gonna go use the Vim editor again, and this time we're gonna go for sysctl.conf, and there well, okay, so I did put that how to work on Vim editor here as well. It just says there open a new existing file with Vim file name, and then type IE to switch into insert mode for editing, and then press escape to actually go out of the editing. Suppose you want to change anything in the file, and then press escape to exit out of the insert mode, which means you cannot edit anymore, and WQ for actually again exiting. So this information is there, and it is in the document that you may have downloaded already from LMS, right? So anyway, what we are trying to do here is that there are these four clear Linux screen. Oh, okay. So you want me to do CLS then? Does CLS work there? If I go there, this screen you're talking about, Mohammed?
I think clear.
Oh, just CLEAR, right? This one?
I think so. Yeah, yeah.
Yay. And if I up arrow, I can still get my previous commands. Okay, that's good. So thank you for that. And once it is cleared, so let us try to just go ahead. So these four lines, net.ipv4.ip forward, net.ipv4 conf default.rp filter, are put this info from your OpenSwan download file and not from the old tutorial document. Okay, what am I talking about? So first of all, what am I talking about? This OpenSwan download file. So AWS will not leave us, clueless that what do we need to, how do we configure the VPN connectivity in OpenSwan. So AWS has provided a documentation specifically for OpenSwan and as well as other VPN clients and so VPN supporting software. So we need to go back to the VPN dashboard and we need to download a file OpenSwan, and you will see that whatever we do next, we're going to follow that file and it's going to help us configure the whole VPN. So where is that file? Now I'm just going to go for download file and see this. I actually did not even show. Oh yeah, I did show that.
So I just got a question. What we did in like ipsec.conf file, like why we just get in the editor just to remove the line or just to
Yeah,
check
we
the
didn't do
line?
anything. We just double checked that the line there is actually not commented, which means that this line can be executed whenever IPsec VPN and IPsec needs that file. So it just that line just says that any IPsec command, just go ahead and execute that in the background. So it just says that. So we just need to confirm if it's if the line is there at all, or if it is not commented. If it is commented, nobody can execute that file or that line. So that line says run all IPsec related background commands. So we didn't do anything and we went out. But that was just a double check. Sometimes if you go to another version of OpenSwan and it has that line commented, so IPsec features will not be available then. Okay, so then this is what I'm showing here. North Virginia, let's go to VPN download configuration for OpenSwan software to give it to Vaughn. Again, it's VPN because O is right beside P, so that's why it's Vaughn. So VPN tunnel configuration. So guys, what am I talking about here? If you want to configure OpenSwan to connect to your North Virginia VPN gateway, you need to ask that VPN gateway the configuration file for OpenSwan. So if you want OpenSwan to connect, there's a file that VPN gateway will give you. You just need to follow the instructions on that file and you will be able to connect from OpenSwan from another region to this VPN gateway. So this download configuration is necessary. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go to the browser here, and I'm going to go to the office side. The left side of mine is the office side. I'm going to go to the VPN, and inside the VPN, well, I'm already there in the VPN dashboard, and I can see that there's a download configuration. So that's very cool. So VPN tells all kinds of vendors, oh, you want to connect to my VPN gateway. AWS says that. So, okay, I have a configuration file on your side, how you want to configure to connect to us. So I'm going to give you that configuration through this here button. So let's click that download configuration here. And you can see that the files are for Checkpoint, Cisco Meraki, Cisco Systems, Citrix, wherever you're connecting from until we go to this. So Palo Alto Network, PFSense, Sonic Wall, Strong Swan. There's a Strong Swan as well. So this one, this means that this is Weak Swan, which we are doing, and there's a Strong Swan as well, if you want to go for Strong Swan. Okay, WatchGuard, Yamaha, and Zyxel. Memories. Zyxel. Anyway, so OpenSwan here, I'm just going to click that, and it says that this is the version, which is okay, but they have lots of other, long list of other versions, which is none. Okay, so they just support this version. So let's click download here. This file is mucho importante, or let me just say that in the accent, mucho importante, right? So let's download this file and guard it with the 4 commandos there and 5 anti-missile launchers there, right? So whatever. Okay, so I'm just gonna download that somewhere. Okay, and you can see my previous file here as well. Wow. So, and this is for today. Now this is just a simple text file, and I'm just gonna cancel because I downloaded this. So I'll open this text file. right? So this has specific information about our whole connectivity that we did with VPN. What is the ID of our virtual private gateway just now that we created? What is the ID of the customer gateway? So the whole configuration from the VPN gateway side is mentioned in the file, and then they are saying that what you need to do on other side to connect to us, right? So this is what this file is talking about. Now it says that, oh, you want to connect an IPsec tunnel. You want to connect over the internet a very, very secure tunnel protected by IPsec. So if you want to do that, you need to follow this 1, 2, 3, 4 steps, right? So if we go down to this, so this is the file that we were about to open. And this configuration assumes that you already have a default OpenSwan installation in place on the Amazon Linux operating system, but may also work with other distros as well, So it says that first of all, put this and ensure that its values match the following. So it's just trying to tell the network card on the other side that, hey, network card, this is a setting that we need available if you want to connect to us to the AWS VPN gateway. So now what we're going to do, we're going to type vim. We're going to go to this file inside OpenSwan, inside that Linux virtual machine, and we're going to, in that file that is open, right, in the vim editor, we're going to copy these 3 lines there. So you will copy your own version of whoever's falling in, whenever you're falling in the back when the video is released. So you need to copy yourself, guys. Those who are following, if anyone following, then do you see exactly the same 3 lines here, or do you see something different? Oh, so okay, there you go, same. So same, all right, so 2 sames there. That's very good, thank you for confirming that. And well, yeah, so I had some older documentation where I was following that document. I thought it will never change, but after, I think, maybe it was done 6 months ago, so I had to just resort to this one. So I'm just gonna right click and copy that, right? I'm gonna right click these 3 lines and copy that. Better just put them one by one, or when you place them, they're gonna be in 1 line, so you have to put them in 3 lines. We're gonna do that. So I'm gonna go to the vim editor. I'm gonna open this sysctl.conf file. I'm gonna add these 3 lines to tell the network card IPv4 configuration of that Linux machine how to behave when you are requesting a VPN connection to the VPN gateway of AWS. So I'm just gonna put that machine here, and hopefully this machine is still talking to me. Sometimes it does not. Seriously. Okay. So I think it was too late. Okay, so you don't have to cry, but yeah, it's too late. So I'm just gonna close this machine, and I'll just go to the browser, and I'm gonna go to the Ec2 instance on the right side in North California, and I'm gonna click that connect again now, and I'm gonna connect to Ec2. But if you were connected through PuTTY, I think it's gonna be more consistent connectivity than this one. So I'm just feeling lazy here. So click connect. So easy to connect. And obviously we cannot work inside Ec2 user, so we have to press enter again and sudo su and give me the super user, the root user privileges. Now I'm a superman, right, or superwoman here. So and then I'm gonna go for some breathing space, press enter, and then I'm gonna go for vim, and I'm gonna type that instructions. So I'm just gonna go to, yeah, this one, and I'll put in front of it this guy. So on the left side I can see this /edcl. So vim /edc /sysctl.conf. So the purpose of this file is to tell the network card IPv4 configuration that these values better be there if you want, if you're thinking of connecting to us AWS VPN gateway with IPsec tunnel. So okay, I'm inside. I'm gonna press enter, and I'm inside this file, and I need to copy these guys there. But how do I copy that? First of all, I right click and copy here, obviously. Then I'll tab to get this machine up, and then on top of it, I'll click and press I first on the keyboard. Why? Because then it's in the insert mode is there. I can do some editing in the file. Otherwise, if you don't press I, if you want to go out of it, it's escape. If I press escape, then I can't do anything. But if I want to do anything, I'll press I for this VM editor, right? So and Control V, and oops, okay, the cursor was actually up there. Seriously? Okay. And then Control Z doesn't work. Okay, guys, anyone Linux here, and we need some real rescue mission here. So I'll just go arrow, and backspace to delete that. And we should have gone down, but I just pasted it on top. So there you go, a Windows guy trying to do Linux editing. Seriously. So, but yeah, you know, Linux has been my love. It's just that I don't have time for my love. So, wow. Okay, so I'll press enter here, and then backspace to remove this comment here, and then Control V here. Now we got what we wanted. So that's it. So it's just 3 lines here, and yeah, well, even if it's back, it doesn't really matter. So if you got these 3 lines there, I'm just gonna press escape now, and shift colon to get out of here, right? Shift colon WQ, shift colon WQ. So guys, my suggestion again and again is that don't think it's boring because it's Linux. If you keep avoiding Linux, it's gonna cost you your future, your career. Linux is something seriously coming into our Windows guys' lives, right? So better start on Linux.
Just a very quick question. Very quick. Can another editor work like Nano?
Yes.
Because it's better than the Vim. Nano.
There are many editors there. This is one of those editors. Yes, it's a simple file editor. Nano can also copy paste any file, and you just need to know that how the working is done, how you paste the file there, how do you copy that. That's otherwise any editor is also okay. Chintan says I could not paste. Chintan, you have to press I first for insert mode, then you have to go down, take down the cursor until it reaches the end line, then you press enter until it is there below this comment here, right, below this comment, and then Control V. So it's not a right click, so clicks don't work here, but you can go for Control V, and make sure if it doesn't work, then just right click and copy again, and then do the Control V again to paste it. And once it is done, then just press escape. All right. So yeah, Vim editor, you know, I had some problem with that. So it's all about getting used to, and I would love to do more Linux in depth actually, and I'll be creating some videos for you step by step that you can understand. So colon WQ and press enter to exit. So I'm out of it now, right? But you have to, when you go inside, just press I button to go to the insert mode. Then you have to really navigate down arrow until you reach the end, and then Control V to paste. Okay, and I'll give some, now works with Control V. Yeah, Control V, great. So enter. I'll just put that. So we're away from this. We're done that. But you can see that whatever document it's not whatever, the document for OpenSwan you downloaded maybe looks like this same. So I'm just going to go back to this document for the next step. And what is the next step here? Apply the changes in step 1 by executing the command sysctl -p. So it's going to apply those changes. It's going to actually restart the network service there. So I'm going to just type this sysctl space -p. So I'm going to type here sysctl space -p. And so that's just, but it's continuing. Are you kidding me? Sysctl -p is saying it's invalid syntax. Are you kidding me? So what I use there in the documentation was this. Let's restart our network service for this. Oh, okay. So I just put that instead of sysctl, which may not be supported by this Linux distro. So we can just type this straightforward command: restart network service, right? Oh, actually, sorry, service network restart. This is the one that you will do here, and it is service network restart. So actual command is this: service network restart. So so there are so many Linux flavors there. So I'm gonna press enter, enter, enter. Service network restart. Enter. And restarting network service. Yes, we're good. Okay, it started and I'll just press enter, enter. So why I'm pressing enter, enter, because you can see previous commands where I'm coming from. Did I get an error? Why? And then how did I resolve it? So that's why I'm keeping the previous screen still visible to you, so you can see that's where I'm coming from, right? So what steps I took before. So I'm just going to go back here, and yes, we downloaded the file, then we copied everything. I'm just going to keep going ahead. Create a new file. So first of all, we went through all this, apply the changes. So this command didn't work actually from that document. Then there is another one, open/etc. So it just says that open the file. We already did that, and it actually just asks you that what we did already, that in the third step. So I'm just going to go to the actual document that I downloaded. Guys, we did that third step already, that if you open that file, it should not be commented. That's what it's saying. So it was not commented, so that's okay. Third step is done already. As a first step, we did, and create new file called file at AWS-conf. Now this is the most important file. This file will have all the information of tunnel 1. AWS.conf file will have all the information that AWS is giving to OpenSwan. Hey OpenSwan, if you have that file and it has these exact parameters, see this tunnel 1 parameters? It has the customer gateway type, which is actually here, and it has the VPN tunnel public IP as well. Now guys, before we create that file, let's just try to understand a little. See this, what are these two public IPs? If I remember, what was my customer gateway public IP? I just want to confirm. Yeah.
So what was our second step?
Second step. So sysctl. So
Yeah.
it is not working, and instead I went for the other command that I just showed here, and that is service network restart. Yeah, this one, service network. So just run this command to restart the service after that. So I'm just going to copy that and put it in WhatsApp as well.
So we were using sysctl just for restarting,
No,
or
yes, that was for service network restart, but I think it is not for this distribution of Linux that we have. So it didn't work there. It did not recognize that syntax. So there's another command that we ran that did the same thing, right? But what they said didn't work for our distribution of Linux. So okay, so you can run instead of that this command, and yeah. So then we were talking about that file, and I was explaining some of the information about that file. This is the file that we downloaded as in the download configuration of VPN gateway, right? So if we go to this, so 13571818 is my customer side, right? So that's where I went. This is my 13571818. This is my customer side of public IP, and it tells you, this file that we downloaded from VPN gateway tells you that this is the public IP from the VPN gateway side. And let's check, is really that's the VPN gateway side? How can you say that? Let's check it out, right? So let's go to North Virginia to the VPN gateway and check if this public IP is there or not. So I'm going to go to that VPN connection here, and there's a public IP here. Oh well, this is the customer gateway, sorry, and there yeah, this is the public IP. Well, again, this is the public gateway, VPN gateway. Let me show you from here. So it was, that's why I took a screenshot of this one as well, so I could show where it is. Hopefully I did take that. It was in the gateway tunnel.
You'll find it under tunnel gateways.
Ah, there you go.
After details and there's tunnel details. Sorry.
Thank
Yeah.
you. So
Welcome.
3, 225, 133, 195. So okay, again, so my memory is so good. 3, 225, 133. Okay, so if we go there, so it is, yeah, 3, 225, 133. So this is the tunnel information. Well, it's at tunnel 1. So but thank you for that. And so guys, this, when we create this file aws.conf, we're gonna actually put the latest information, the correct information that the VPN gateway is providing us, so we could connect from our machine to that VPN gateway, right? So that's what we can say. But there's one more thing here. There are some editing we need to do, and then we can copy paste the whole thing, right? First thing, yes, it's the correct information. This is our customer side of information. This is our VPN side tunnel 1 information. This means, first of all, we're not creating 2 tunnels, we're creating 1 tunnel. For OpenSwan just supports 1 tunnel. If you go down, there's a tunnel 2 information here as well, right? But we're not going to create tunnel 2. We just want to make sure that VPN actually works even with 1 tunnel or not. But you can see that VPN has provided us enough information. Second thing is that there is a auth ESP or OAuth as we see there. So OpenSwan connectivity to through OpenSwan VPN connectivity, open authentication or OAuth is not supported. So what I want you to do is that we're going to remove this line from here. And in fact, you know, when we are doing this configuration, let's not mess the actual file that we downloaded, although we can do that here as well. I'm just going to copy this line. I'm going to ask you to make some changes in this line before we go ahead. So I'm going to copy this whole line that gives us the tunnel 1 information. Through tunnel 1, we're going to be connecting from the Linux application to the VPN gateway on AWS. So it is through, so this tunnel has to be, or tunnel information has to be corrected. So I'm just going to copy this and put it on my notepad, empty notepad that I opened for just this purpose. So here, you know, when we create that file that I was just talking about in the 4th step, so this edited information will have to be placed there in that file, and then you will see it should work fine. The tunnel should be created and we should be able to do a VPN connectivity. So here, first thing, yes, the customer information is correct. The VPN gateway information in the side of information is correct. But then if you go down, OpenSwan does not support OAuth or open authentication protocol. So we're just gonna remove that. I'm just about to remove this AUTH, auth, and ESP. I'm just gonna remove that now and press delete here. So this is gone, right? That's one thing we need to do. And second thing is, you can see that it says, hey, what is your local network IP? I need to know that. I know you will be connecting from my public IPs here and here, but when I do connect, I need to know what is the local network IP range and what is the remote network IP range. So you need to give that as well, and obviously that's the private IP range that we need to give. So where do I get that? So obviously local network would be which network? So is it our AWS side of network is our local network, or is it the
AWS side.
Is it the client side or the AWS side?
AWS side.
AWS side is the local network.
No. Sorry. It's the client side, because this Linux device is currently on the client side.
So
it's the local end.
Exactly, as you said. So, but I'm just putting that screenshot here as well, that this is a local network here, and then just to explain or give this information there as well, that we will have to change that. I did that change actually inside the machine, and that was more trickier. So there's a 10.200. This is a local network where we are sitting right now, right? So if I go for this connection here, so we're locally inside this place right now, OpenSwan. So local network will be 200, and the remote network is, so it's remote to this OpenSwan or this Linux machine. So to this is remote, so remote network will have this range. So, and we need to give /16, so we're gonna exactly do that. So let's do it. Let's do it now. And well, we have to make that change in our notepad that we created, because we opened that. See, this untitled. So this is just, so I'm just gonna put that range. Local network is our network. We're sitting right now in customer side. So 10.200.0.0/16. That's where we're sitting right now, and our remote network would be the AWS side.
You typed 19.200. Is correct.
Thank you. So I need more samosa power here. So 10.100.0.0/16. Okay, so now we just understand that the downloaded file leads us, and it clearly shows that, hey, you have to put the local IP there, local network, and then remote IP. So it's very good. It leads us to the correct information. It guides us towards that, right? So first change we did was there was a auth equals ESP. We removed that line because auth is not supported with OpenSwan connectivity with VPN gateway. And second thing is we had to define these two lines here, right? So now it knows that, okay, public IPs are these. The tunnel 1 knows, IPsec tunnel 1 configuration knows two public IPs, customer and office and customer side, and their respective private IP ranges. So once this is ready, this is the changes that we have done. I'm going to minimize this because we haven't created that file yet where we could copy this information. So I could just even select it and copy this information now and put it on clipboard and minimize it. Now hopefully our machine is not frozen again. If it is, then I have to first log in again, and if I just click on top of this, oh, it's frozen. Okay, so seriously, okay, so it's again, I'm just gonna close that. Yep, it's annoying. So and I'm gonna connect to, click the connect button here, go to Ec2 instance and connect. And yes, I need that power of root again. So sudo su, and enter. Now we're ready to go for the next steps. So I'm just going to follow that file that I downloaded, and that file was open, yeah, here. This is the actual file because this is the name here, right? So I'm going to go to the fourth step now again. Okay, now Mr. what you're talking about. You know what we did? It's all explained here as well, right? What we just did. So anyway, so Chintan says, how can we get this file? So Chintan, see this? We went to VPN connection here on the office side, and in the side-to-side VPN connection, we just downloaded this configuration. We clicked the download, and then we selected OpenSwan like this, and then we downloaded this one. So OpenSwan and download, right? Okay, so that's the file exactly we're following now. Cool. Okay, guys. So here, if we go ahead, so I'm just gonna go to this file. Yeah, I was on this file, and I'll put that machine on my right side. So here, I think it's still alive. Yeah, it's alive. So I'm just gonna go to this path here, which is this path inside Vim editor or any editor if you're a Linux guru already. So Vim and then /etc /ipsec.d is the folder. Inside there we're gonna create, so we're gonna tell the IPsec tunnel that, hey, it's the AWS configuration, or it's a AWS VPN gateway that we're connecting to. So I'm gonna go through that file. This is like just like you've opened the aws.conf file in a notepad in Windows. what we're opening in Vim editor here. So I'm going to press enter here, and I'm inside that file again. Now you don't see that something written there because it's a totally new file that we are creating. This is a totally new file. This file does not exist. But to enter this file, this is the same way as there was an existing file that we entered through Vim, right? This is a totally new file. So I need to paste that information that I copied from my edited Notepad document. So we edited and we put all that information of local network. I'm going to right click and copy that. And I'm going to go back to, first of all, in the background, I'll just put that, then I'll put in on the right side this machine. Now I need to control V here, but first of all, I need to press the I button to insert. Yeah. So first I press the I button on the keyboard and it gives me this insert mode, right? Now I can go for control V and the whole file, well, the edited tunnel 1 information is inside the aws.conf file, right? So this is the insert mode. We could have done anything else. We could have done that configuration here, but better just do it outside and just simply copy paste and save it, right? How do we save it? We just exit. :WQ actually means exit and save, right? :WQ. So W means write and Q means quit. So :W. So I'm just, in order to go out of this file, I need to press escape, right? In order to go out of the file, I need to press escape, and then I need to type :WQ. Please write it and quit. So save it and quit, right? So this is WQ will take me out of this file after editing this file. Enter. And enter, right? So, well, the steps are there, and it is showing, and after that, it says one more thing. Create new file that is called aws.secrets. So why did we create the first file, the previous file, aws.conf? So you should know the tunnel information. Your source IP, public IP is this, your source public IP, and then destination public IP of the gateway is this. So tunnel has to know the source address and destination address, right? And then the local network is this and remote network is this, what we edited and copied there. So this file is just saying that where are you connecting from and to where you need to connect. So that was it. The connection information was saved inside the tunnel information. IPsec tunnel information was saved here. But when you go down to the AWS secrets, so do you want to securely connect to that exact address here? Then you need to go for this information here. So append this line with the file, be mindful of the spacing. So 1357.18.18. So we are connecting from this source to 3.258.225. This is a tunnel IP address with this secret key here. Now this is what we were talking about, pre-shared key that we need to actually put here. So you want to connect from where to where is shown here, and do you want to connect securely to exactly that target VPN gateway, then you need to have this shared key also available in another file that you're about to create now, right? So we're now going to create this file. We're just simply going to copy paste this information. We'll just throw it inside and again write and quit. So :WQ, right? Now we understand that what's the purpose of this second file that we're about to create here. It's going to securely connect us to the right target, which is VPN gateway. So the path here is this. Obviously we have to write Vim first, and I need to check if we are still alive. Yeah, we're still alive. So Vim and then / yeah.
Please use declare so that what you're typing can be at the top. Please.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so here I'm just going to add this, and so Vim, okay, Vim, and then /etc /ipsec.d is the folder. Under that folder we're going to create, so all IPsec related information is there in this folder. AWS conf, now AWS secrets. So aws.secrets, so it's really case sensitive, and I'm just gonna press. Now I'm entering this file while I'm creating this new file. I'm entering into that file as well. So I'm just gonna press enter. So this is a totally new file, and then what I need to do is very carefully copy this line, which is showing the source public IP and the destination public IP and the pre-shared key that they will both be using. So before that, I need to click insert here so I could edit this file in the Vim editor, and then I'm going to come here and copy the whole thing. Control C, Alt Tab. It is in insert mode, so I can put anything inside. I just place that. My public IPs of source and destination are here with the pre-shared key, PSK, right? So that's it. OpenSwan needed this information as well to open the tunnel with the correct authentication. So I'll just press escape now, and again colon W to write and Q to quit. So please save it and quit. Enter. Now this file has been created as well. Okay, so once this file is created, I'll just put clear now. So I'm just gonna go for that, the step-by-step document that I created, and yes, we did all that, and well, after that we just need to do one more thing, and that is I press escape and then type Q. So we created the file aws.conf, so tunnel information is there. Then we create the file aws.secrets, so the pre-shared key for the tunnel is there. The correct source connects to the correct VPN gateway. And then now one more thing we need to do, but this will be in North Virginia, and that is that there is a route table. Let's also configure our route table to have our route propagation enabled, so it could discover the route for its connectivity from office to customer gateway. Okay, so in English what it means. So it's just saying that so there has to be a route table that should let us connect from VPN. VPN will receive the customer gateway, right? From there to this machine here, or to this actually this private subnet here. So there from VPN gateway. So you know that there's a route table here that connects us on the client side from IGW internet gateway to the subnet, right? But we didn't put a route table here that connects our VPN gateway to the subnet. So and there will be another way that we're going to go for. There's a static way that we can connect to that, and there's a route propagation, which is actually an automatic way of discovering. Route table can discover its connection to the gateway and to the subnet. So this is also something that we haven't done before when we were creating route table before. So we're going to do that now. Let's try to go to the route table on the North Virginia side and tell it, hey, from VPN gateway to subnet, let me just create a route table there, and so VPN gateway could send the traffic to the only subnet that's there. So I'm going to go to this on the VPN gateway side, office side, and here we're still inside the VPC dashboard here, and the route table is on the top, this one. And then let's click create route table, and that route table that we are creating, wow, I didn't even bother to give a name to that route table. Wow. Okay, so it is, let's just give that obviously rt-a-office This is going to be actually route propagation, which means that, hey, discover the connectivity from the VPN gateway to the private subnet. That's the only subnet there, right? So let's connect it to the correct VPC A office, right? So let's click create and close. So this route table is there. Now, first of all, you know what? There was a route table there before as well, and then there is another route table that we are creating. Did we need to create another route table? Because I don't think there is a new route table that I created. Configure our route table to have route propagation enabled so it could discover the route for its connectivity from office to customer. Okay, so guys, sorry about that. That's why I put steps there. I don't do this every day, but I had to double check that when I was starting this lab. So we have a default route table as well. Let me just explain what that already created route table that is there, where did it come from, right? So what we needed to do was, we didn't need to create a route table here. We already have a route table. So I'm just gonna click this and I'm going to delete this route table. Sorry about that. So delete route table, but don't delete the wrong one. So the one that you just created now and you named it, right? So suppose you were following, or you will be following in the video. Oh man, in the video when you're doing that, so you will see all this step as well. So guys, there's already a route table here. And where did this route table come from? So when you create a subnet inside, then you see that route table. Let me just try to make it smaller, this machine, and go to this diagram. So when this subnet was created, so normally with the subnet, a route table gets created automatically, right? For that subnet, you want to connect it to something else, this is the route table. So this automatically created route table when you create the subnet is where we're going, and we're going to tell it that, hey, whatever traffic is coming from VPN, just discover it and send it to the required virtual machine here, whichever virtual machine is there. Yeah, directly connected route, we can say, since it says on the chat. Okay, so I'm just gonna select this route table, but we know that in the route table we give routes here, and then we put subnet association here, right? Association. So here, instead of we giving that, we can also go for one more thing here, and that is route propagation. So this means that, hey, discover in which VPC you are and what gateway is connected to this VPC directly. That's what's
I got a question. Like, so we are not using the route table because we already have the route table which we have got it by our subnet.
Yes, exactly.
So we got a route table with the customer office as well, right?
Yeah.
The default route table which we got it from that subnet. So why did we create the route table over there in the customer office?
So that's a very good question. So here, this route table was created because there's an IGW here, and that even when you create when you have a default route table, yes, it also had a default route table there, but that route table was supposed to be used. Yes, we could have used that too, but normally for IGW, normally we create, if you want to go static, then you can create a new route table just to clarify all the route there. But here, when you go for route propagation, then since we didn't go for static, otherwise I was creating there, but we went for route propagation. That's why we just use the default table, because it will automatically detect that. But yes, your question still stands there. Why don't we have already a default route table there? Then why are you creating a separate one? So for static routes, normally we have to create a separate one, and this route table that is default there, if you have another subnet in future that you're creating there and another subnet you're creating there, then for that normally we use a default table. So yes, we could have used that for exactly that IGW as well, but for later, although we're not going to create that, just because we've been doing labs this way, that's why we're doing it. Otherwise, technically, yes, we could have used that one as well. All right. Yeah.
As you mentioned, like
Question, but okay.
yeah, go ahead, Abad. Go ahead.
Yeah, just for the route table that you have deleted in the Virginia. I think we need to create the route table because that the default route table you have deleted. It was connected to the default VPC, which is IBA 172, right? Yeah, the default route table. You need to create one and connect it to
There is a
VPC.
default one that you see this? Let me just show you this. There's a default one.
Okay, this is the default.
But I named it that way. The other one is for the subnet that we can use at our disposal. We want to use that. We want to.
Okay, yeah.
It's up to us. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was connected to default. Okay.
If we could follow the same steps as you were doing before, like you were creating another route table, so would be any problem?
Well, the thing is that we wanted to use that route propagation feature there because we already used that way the route table in our previous lab, and in on the right side, in the customer side, we already used that way, right? So I want to show you also that route propagation also works. So we have done that 2 times already, but that's really easy. You can connect it to the VPN gateway and then, but how about we test it today? If the route propagation, which means that, hey, route table, discover your network that is around you and make that connection happen. So we need to test that here. Okay. So here, guys, that default route table, I'm still there in North Virginia, and I'm going to go to the route propagation here. That and it says here that edit route propagation. It already has.
I just have one more question. Sorry, actually, I just want to know that explicit subnet associator. What is it in route table? Explicit subnet associator in route table. Yeah, here in the third after the route table ID, you can see that tag.
Oh, this one.
Yeah, in the tab. Yeah.
So yeah, this is just like this subnet association. So you want to explicit just normally means that you manually want to define this or you want it discovered. So explicit normally is manual. So you can just go edit association here and then connect to the any of the subnets there. So that is called then explicit. But if I go to the right side, yep, there is no other. This is that subnet association here, which is has to be manual.
Okay, because in customer side we have done that. Like we have defined the explicit associator, which is our subnet, which is our own subnet we have made.
This one is defined here, so that's why it's showing.
But over there we did not define. That's why I'm asking.
So because we're going for again this route propagation here, if we define manually ourselves from VPN gateway to this, then yes, it will again show here as well, just like it was showing there. But we're just doing this other thing, and it also works pretty well. And this is a good chance for us to check that route propagation works or not. So we could have done that, and then it would have shown the same way that we have done 2-3 times before. Okay, guys. So here, okay. So Chintan says directly connected route is created by default because it's on same subnet 1000. Is it right? Customer side, we have to manually create route as it's not on same subnet. Directly connected route is created by default. No. So if you're talking about the route table, right? Route table default route table gets created with the subnet on both sides. And that's the same behavior on both sides, customer or client, customer or office. If it's about route table, that does it get created when the subnet gets created, right? So if that's a question, so the default route table gets created when you create any subnet. One subnet you create this route table. Suppose you create 20 subnets. This same route table they will all be connected to. Suppose you create 200 subnets.
Yes.
Yeah, it will only this, unless you want to create another one to create a traffic flow. Yeah, you were saying?
So my question is that, like, no, you say like you don't need to create the another route because it's already there. So it is because of it is on same subnet. That's why it is directly connected route.
So we are asking this one to actually discover the networks around it. And let us connect. Yes. So otherwise we would have gone through the thing.
Customer side is we don't have that scenario.
We went manually
have
there.
manually
Here we
created
want automatic. So here we want dynamic. Dynamically the route table to work there. We just manually did it, and we're not doing it here because we already know how to do it there or here as well. Okay guys, so here route propagation for this one, and then click the edit route propagation and just select that. So you remember that VGW, that gateway has the office side of information. So that's the information that it needs. Office side information is what? Your public IP of your VPN, not the VPN, but the tunnel one, and whatever is on the office side connectivity. There's one subnet there, there's one VPC there, there's a tunnel 1 public IP there, actually tunnel 2 IP is there as well, but it's going to know all that now. So let's click save. It's not gonna know that right away, because if you refresh here, so the information should come down here. It will show here, but you're gonna see that information if you keep refreshing. We're gonna just leave it because it's gonna show after some time, because we need to do 2-3 more final commands there, and hopefully it works. Oh, so outside I'm saying, yeah, it's gonna work, and inside, please work, please work, please work. Okay, anyway, so let's go here. We have configured the route propagation. We're expecting it to dynamically discover the traffic, and later you should be seeing here some more extra information what it discovered. So if we go to our next steps here, so okay, route propagation is configured, and it should be yes. And now what we're going to, the route will be showing here after tunnel is up and running. So okay, when the tunnel is up and running, so okay, so the route will be showing. Now start the Ipsec service. Now where is that talking about? Obviously I should have mentioned that in North California, inside your VPN Linux router, it's inside your Linux router, right? Let's go to that and just go for start the Ipsec service. There's a command here, $sys system cdl start space Ipsec. So, and then there is that status of that. First of all, we're going to run this command. Now this command is also here as well. The file that we downloaded from there, so from the AWS. So at the end of it, it actually shows here as well, which is actually it's not showing. So okay, it's not there. So we're just initiating that ourselves. So we're gonna exactly run this command now. So hopefully that machine is still not frozen, and enter. There you go. Seriously. I'll go to EC2, connect, EC2, connect. Oh, I should have written there the root user. Anyway, sudo su super user, and then where's the command? This is
why the command previous command gone? Maybe it's still there. If you go to check the etc or vim, it should be there, because you didn't restart the computer, I believe that.
No, so again, what you're saying? Which previous command?
I'm asking why the command is gone.
No, this is
why
frozen.
You need to repeat it again?
So this is frozen. When I click, it's not doing anything for me, right? So if I press enter, it's not even doing enter. It's frozen totally for me, the machine. I don't know why it's happening, but this is just a connectivity. If we don't work, if we keep it idle, I think the idle timeout is too less here. That's why it's doing it for me, right? So,
I think it's a session timeout. Yeah. So maybe you have to check.
So yeah, I could have session timeout exactly. Okay, so it's just so I'm just gonna go back here. Yes, I lost the previous commands, but I don't have to go there. Although yes, we should just increase the session time and this problem should be resolved. Better connect from PuTTY. That is more consistent and doesn't session time is much more longer and easily configurable as well. I'm going to go for $system CTL. Guys, that's final one. And I'm not going to look at it now. I'm going to look away and I'm going to press enter. So that's it. Oh, okay. So command not found. Oh, sorry. It's so here. This is the fear of the unknown that is there. I think, why did I put that dollar here? So it's a system start. Woohoo! Okay, let me just jump in my room here for 5 seconds at least, because there I fought for 1 or 2 hours of troubleshooting that it was not actually running. Remove the dollar sign, guys. Sorry, the dollar sign was not supposed to be there. But if there is no news here, then it's a good news. So systemctl start ipsec. If it goes to this line, this means it started, but what's the proof that it started? So there's another command here, this one, systemctl status ipsec. Systemctl status ipsec. And oh, this green one is like, it's like heaven. So active running, that's the first thing, and then it actually starts giving you all the information here. It also says here some lines were ellipsized, so you can just go for -L. So if I up arrow that, see this? So, serious? Oh, it does not do that. Okay. So if I up arrow that, serious, I'll just clear it. But I just lost my. Yeah, there you go. Guys, I'll clear, and here I'll just remove it. Up arrow. Don't tell me session time on. Okay, there you go. So systemctl status ipsec, and then -L. So what it shows here, first of all, active running is again a good news here, this one. But it shows here those lines that were cut here are actually fully showing now here. Loading secrets from this. So remember that we put the pre-shared key there. So then loading secrets from this initiating main mode, and then tunnel 1 sent this, sent that. So well, it is giving some information there, but I want to then check, is the tunnel up on the other side? So if we go to the VPN side here and go down to this site-to-site VPN tunnel, and there you go, it is down. Okay, sorry. So yeah, I'm gonna refresh that and keep refreshing. So yeah, we need to send actually some ping command there, because the VPN tunnel keeps connected as long as there's some activity going on, right? So what we can do there is that if this status that we saw is there, and the green active running is there, then what we can do is we can just do a ping to that machine on the other side behind that VPN gateway in the office, right? So I'm just gonna go ahead and show you some of those screenshots here. Ping from customer VM to office VM, and keep that alive. So the -T doesn't work here. Just the normal ping keeps continuously pinging here. After a while, you should be seeing that there's a up here after a while, right? So that's what we're expecting here, and I don't know what's wrong with that screen here. Serious. Let me just. What is it doing that? Ah. Oh, secrets. Seriously. So I'll Control Z out of that. Or Control C. Oh, guys, it's yeah, I hate Linux. That's why. I'll just close it and open it again. Okay, so what I'm going to do is ping space clear. Okay, I'll just put clear here, and I'm going to go ping which machine? I'm going to ping that other machine. What is the private IP of that machine? I'm going to go to that machine in the EC2 instances on the office side. And this is that private machine, and this is the private IP. 10.100.0.34. 10.100.0.34. So 10.100.0.34. Okay. You have no idea how relieved I am. So, well, but that's just pinging. We need that tunnel to be up. Thank you. Whew. Okay, so now I need to jump again, but final jumping for me and dancing for me, that I'm gonna open the video and I'm gonna dance in front of you. No way.
My tunnel is up!
Hey, that's not fair. First I go. Remember the rules? Oh, okay, no rules. And that's congratulations to you. And wow, amazing. And there you go. Woohoo! Yay! Where are the fireworks on the screen? How do I make a fireworks here? Okay, so congratulations, Ade, you did it. And well, the tunnel is up, and well, the ping is going, and ping actually created, it then shows that there's an activity going on, and if it keeps on pinging, the tunnel is finally up. So that's
Thank you very much. Just
yes,
question, please. Yeah, why? What the reason of having two tunnel? Now we are using only one tunnel. So, what the reason behind you another tunneling in the?
So that would be redundancy, and if and usually if
okay.
it's going and it wants to switch to the second tunnel for some reason.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I remember. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, guys. So this is it, and well, there are 8.
Can you tell me how can we ping? Or like which IP we need to take for pinging?
So go to the office side, EC2, and if you're on the EC2 on the office side, then the IP is already showing when you select that, only EC2 there, and the IP is showing this one. So select the EC2 on the office side, not Virginia.
Yeah, got it. Thanks.
That was amazing. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
That was fun.
We appreciate that. Just question for the test. So, yeah, that guy who passed the exam, what the reference that he learned on the study? The same PDF you have sent to us, or
that's a lady, and she passed. Well, her resources are just the file that I sent, but she was studying from a lot of white papers, that I actually now put there on the LMS, and also she's saying that the labs. But what I am thinking is that maybe also that got lucky and all the questions came from there. So so it's just a combination of that. But so you can ask her directly as well. Her name is Naz here. I don't know why she didn't come today, but she just recently passed the exam of AWS Solutions Architect Associate. But she's really hardworking, but so are you guys as well. Okay.
Okay,
guys. So this is it. But before going, let me. We need to prepare for the next class. Although, so we need to purchase. Well, first of all, I'll just go for the questions here. Thank you. So you passed the exam. There's a student Naz. She passed the exam. Please share the LMS link again. Can't seem to find it. So guys, here. And we need to actually delete that as well, so I need to record that as well. So the link here is which I just showed. I'll just put that as in the screenshot as well. So guys, all the information is here in AWS, Azure, GCP exam resources. Oh yeah, you were saying that it's not
Yeah, my view isn't like that. When I log into mine, I only see 3 courses that I have from you, which is the 740 MS, AWS, and SQL.
Okay.
So I don't see your view.
Oh, okay. I think think AWS exam prep. I'm just doing that now live. And okay, so guys, I'll be adding you all there then in that case. But now when I offer it free, it actually should be available on that main set of all the courses there. There are 4 or 5 courses there. So
Yes, it's available now.
confirming that. So yeah, you can just go ahead here and no, not this one. Seriously, this one, AWS Azure GCP exam prep. So guys, just go there, and I'm adding a lot of resources so you could pass as soon as possible. So work hard and make us all proud. Okay, so give access. Yeah, it has it is accessible by everyone. Guys, can you go there and do you have access now? And you can. Lecture content is locked for this one. So can you confirm now if you can access this one?
It's locked to me.
Locked. Oh, can you refresh and then try again? Maybe it's not locked.
For me, I can access it.
You cannot see it, or you cannot go inside. You cannot enroll.
I can access it. I'm in it already.
Me either.
So I just made it available. So refresh.
Thank you.
So just wait for 4 or 5 minutes, and then. So guys, I need to first delete, and we need to see that in the video because you must repeat that lab, and then you need to know what to delete there. Second thing is, guys, you can access. Okay, so you guys, for Friday we are starting Azure, so just spread the word to your friends. First thing, and second thing is that we need to have a VMware workstation installed in our laptops, and we're going to install the Windows, we're going to install Active Directory, DNS, and then we're going to create 390 users with PowerShell script, and then we're going to create the Azure account that day. In the class, we're going to create the Azure account as well, or you can create the Azure account just before the class, 1 hour before the class, because it's just 30 days that we're going to have Azure, and then it's going to convert to pay-as-you-go. So I'm going to list all this in the WhatsApp. So you should have a VMware workstation. I'm going to share that Windows Server 2016 or 2012 or 2019, and then we're going to create the account as well. I'm going to put all that in the WhatsApp before the next class. Be ready.
So it's like it's for 30 days. The portal will be given to us for 30 days, right?
Microsoft is just too stingy.
From each ID.
Yeah. So after that, we need to convert it to pay-as-you-go. I'm working on pay-as-you-go for 4 years now. So we're going to do the lab in such a way that you won't be charged. But if you get charged like 4 or 5 cents or 10 cents, just it's worth it. We're going to do in-depth labs there. So, okay guys, let's start deleting. Yeah.
I have a last question. Which one is more better, AWS or Azure?
Better, both. The combination of them in the market is especially, well, there are more jobs for Azure here. But AWS and Azure, if you go multi-vendor, that's better. They would prefer those who have AWS plus Azure instead of just anyone.
Sorry, Amir, could you please go one more time? Sorry to bother you. Go to the exam and the for your website and go to the exam. I'm able to open it, but which part it's related to the dumb question?
No, it's actually these are white papers and also frequently asked questions. But I'm about to add dumb questions there tonight, so you keep visiting that.
Sorry.
So
Yeah.
visiting, yeah.
Sure. Thank you.
Put an update here.
Amir, we need to install the VMware before the next class.
Workstation should be there in our laptops. Yes.
That's it. Only VMware and an account in Azure.
And I'll be sending a message there that go to the website and download the latest version of Windows Server 2016 ISO. I'll send that link on WhatsApp as well. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you.
And Azadin is saying, sorry, what do we need to prepare for next class? Yes, guys, let me just put it on WhatsApp. So this is very, very important. So we do not waste time. But yeah, also one more thing, we're expecting some new guys there as well. So be patient with me as well. Okay, so for Azure class that I'm writing in that WhatsApp for Azure class, please have a newly downloaded Windows Server 2016 ISO from Windows, Microsoft.com/downloads. So I'm gonna send that Microsoft.com/downloads. So and do not install that. We are gonna install that together. Do not install, just download it, right? And second thing is for Azure class. So create your free Azure cloud account 1 hour before the class, as it is only for 30 days, and it says it's for 12 months, but they are just not true to us. The critical services will all be for 30 days, and the non-critical services that are not mainstream, that are not used a lot, will be for 12 months. So it's not 12 months, it's just 30 days. So create it before that. And then there is for Azure class, third thing is that go to www.godaddy.com and purchase cheap $1.20 domain like www.yourname.com or .ca or .site, and so it is for 1 year. It is for 1 year. So you need to purchase that. And for one more final thing is for Azure class, please install latest VMware workstation on your laptop, 15.5 I guess, and for this go to www.vmware.com website and download it from there.
Can we use EXI as well, so we can create virtual machines there?
ESXi?
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
ESXi we don't need now, but you can shut down and you can practice for something else. For Azure, we don't need that. In fact, for Azure, we're going to be installing Hyper-V. So it's going to be good that we get to experience both type of hypervisors. Okay.
GB of RAM, Amir, do you think it's enough? I have 16 GB on my light.
RAM? Yeah, we're going to start only one machine there. We're not going to need the 2 other machines there. And if you don't start, it does not, consume the RAM. They will be shut down. It's just that your hard disk space should be there.
Okay.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
Alright guys, so let's start deleting that, and I'm just gonna go ahead and first delete the EC2 instances from both sides. So I'm on the North Virginia side, and I'm gonna delete that EC2 instance and instance settings, and then there is that instance state actually, and then I'm gonna terminate that instance. And well, it was shocked with what I was doing, so it just reloaded that session. So okay, I'll just terminate that again, and now it's saying yes, terminate. So North Virginia instance is gone. I'm also going to go for the other side and terminate that instance. I'm on the instance on the North California side. I'll terminate that. If you terminate the instance, then after that whole VPC is easy to terminate. Although it's gonna ask that on the North Virginia side to delete that VPN gateway first, then it will delete the VPC. Now I'm on the North California side, US West 1 side, where the instance is being terminated. I'm just waiting for that to get terminated. So shutting down, when it is turned to red, terminated, then it's yes, it's turned to red, right? So I'm still on North California side. Now I'm gonna try to delete this VPC in North California side. So I'll go to the VPC. Normally, the good thing about VPC is that once you just delete the VPC, and don't read the wrong VPC, once you delete the VPC, it just deletes everything else related to it as well. So if I go to VPC B customer that we created today, I'm going to go for actions and delete VPC. I'm going to click that delete, and it says actually gives you the whole list of what it's going to delete. Network interfaces. Okay, so we still have to check the VPN separately. So I'm going to click that delete VPC. We didn't create the VPN gateway and other gateways here anyway on the customer side. So delete VPC, and that's good. It's going to delete everything that we configured. So EC2 is deleted, VPC is deleted. We're good here, right? In the North Carolina side, that's what we configured, and it's all gone, right? Now let's go to the North Virginia side. EC2 is deleted. That's good. But if we go to the VPC side, right? If we go to the VPC side, before we delete the VPC, route table is deleted. Route table is deleted already when we delete VPC. So we're going to go to the left side here. First, delete the VPN and then delete the VPC, because VPC will not be deleted if VPN is not deleted. So I'm just going to go to site-to-site VPN here, this one, under virtual private network. Site-to-site VPN and connections, and I'm going to go for delete the VPN first, right? So delete VPN and delete it. Then I'm going to go for virtual private gateway, which is right above site-to-site VPN, and I'm going to delete from VPC the virtual private gateway as well. And then I'm going to go to customer gateway and actions, and I'm going to delete customer gateway as well. And then we go ahead to the VPC. Now it should not, say anything about, hey, you got still this warning or that warning. So I'm going to go to the VPC A office, and I'm going to go to actions and delete VPC. Now it shows what it's going to delete, so that's good. Delete VPC, and now we should be good. So EC2 and VPC from North Virginia and EC2 VPC from North California both are deleted. Yay! Okay, so see you on Friday with Azure. We're gonna go in depth just like that. We're gonna have fun. So spread the word. Yeah.
So we don't need to delete the VPC in the customer side, in the North California side, the first one, right? The default one.
I just deleted it.
No, the above one, the second one.
Customer side? Yeah. No,
Yeah.
those are default ones. Oh, no one else.
Yeah, yeah,
All right.
yeah. I'm not deleting it.
Yeah, so we don't touch the others. No way. So just the one that we created. All right. Thank you. Bye bye. Thank you. Okay, that was fun.
Thank you, Amir.
Yep.
Thank you, Amir.
Thanks, sir. All right. All right. Thank you, everyone. Bye bye. Thank you. Bye. I'll just. Thank you. Bye bye. Thank you. And thank you.
Hi, Amir, for the Azure, you need only the virtual machine to be loaded Windows 2016,
So
right?
we're not going to install Windows Server 2016. We're just going to download the ISO, and we're going to install it together.
Okay, but if I use the EXI machine for that one to create a virtual machine, that's okay?
Yeah. So, but since we're not doing that, suppose you're stuck with something, so hopefully you're going to troubleshoot that. But yes, you can, if you want, you can do that.
But that's only a virtual machine, and just as long as the Windows can see outside world, right? That's all you need it. And because the EXI is just it just give you the virtual machine, right, to create multiple virtual machines.
As long as it can connect to the Azure all over the internet, yes, we're good.
Yeah, as long once you load the Windows 2016 and I can ping it and I can remotely log into it, right? Then that will be okay, right? Okay, because I'm just configuring one system here as an EXI machine, so and I was planning to load some Linux and other stuff, so I can use that one. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Thanks, Amir. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.